of the campaign here at TPK Games. It's our inaugural show. And what we're basically doing for you is we've gotten a bunch of streamers and podcasters and just awesome personalities, my good friends, together to play some D&D with an amazing DM, Rich. If you guys are familiar with what I do over at Nerdrotics, we do mostly like movie and TV recaps. So this is a new experiment for us. So if you're seeing this on Nerdrotic, please head over to Twitch. It's twitch.tv/TPK_games and follow us there. You'll get all of this content live on the day that we're right now. It's Tuesdays. This Tuesday and next Tuesday, you'll get us live on Twitch, and then you'll see it on Nerdrotic on Thursdays thereafter. So if you want it live, come follow us over here on Twitch. Otherwise, I'm going to hand it over to Rich to do the introductions to all the players and the introduction to the world. And thanks for joining us.
Man, I'm excited. I'm supposed to be a good dungeon master now. No pressure. We got like a crack crew of D&D players, elite in their fields, warriors, wizards, and rogues, all of them. And I don't know where to start. Who should we start with? Let's start with the illustrious Mike Bloom.
Well, before we
should start with.
Speaking of crack, yeah.
Mike Bloom, man-whore Mike Bloom.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy to be here. I'm sort of part and parcel with what John was saying. I'm very used to covering TV and some films, so this is a very, very new exploit for me. Just got into D&D only a couple months ago, but I'm excited to sort of be on the inaugural launch of the SS campaign.
Excellent. I'm super excited to have you, Mike. It's going to be a fun ride. This is my long-term friend and cohort, Alan Ward.
What's up? I just stream here on Twitch over at Captain Emo. Check me out. I mostly play PUBG. I'm looking to play other things. That's it. I've been playing D&D for 3 years. Not too much, but...
Are there times where you're playing...
in second place last night.
Oh yeah. I come. I normally play at about 5:30 PST. So come check me out.
Check him out.
I'm ready. I'm ready to see you people in here.
Sweet.
Alex Stotsky, our sorcerer.
Hey, how's it going? I don't exactly stream at the moment, but look forward to doing it in the future. Played Dungeons and Dragons on and off for different parts of my life, so hope to give a little bit of experience to things and have a good time.
And he's our resident foodie, and we'll be announcing a fun show that we're going to be doing here at TPK with Alex during the intermission of this thing. So stay tuned for that.
It is super exciting. Hey, John Reed, who are you?
Hey, how's it going? So I am a podcaster and co-host over at Nerdrotic. Second or third man in charge. It depends on who you ask, I guess. But I've been working over with Nerdrotic for a long time. Did a little bit of work with post-show recaps and Mike Bloom with Rob Sestorino. You can find me at all those things. But this is become an instant passion of mine, all of this D&D. I'm relatively new to it, but sunk in super deep super quickly, so it's like quicksand, this D&D stuff. I'm just
vouch for that.
Yeah, for sure. You've been wading through it a little longer than I have, Rich. But so thanks for joining us. And
excellent. And finally, far from the least of us, Taryn Collins, here you are.
Hello. This is my first stream. I feel like the least experienced streamer. I guess if you're the first streamer, then that's... Also, I'm very bad at introducing myself, so that's me. And John and I actually met in a bar when I started talking to random people about D&D, and people put us together and said, you two both do this. You guys go stand in a corner and talk about D&D. Which is not the first time that I've done that. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited to play. And I've got this, and then we'll talk a little bit later about a podcast that I'm on for D&D that's a actual play podcast as well.
Yeah, it's super fun if you guys, it's The Last Refuge, right? We'll talk about it more, but it's a
we
good
will
one
talk about it later. But I love the fortuitous twist of fate. My OG D&D friends would say Tamora smiles that you and John were in the same bar on the same night and somebody recognized that you play D&D. Great timing.
I mean, I wasn't like really trying to hide it.
I think both of us were going
who
around being like,
does?
so
I
this
feel
D&D
ya.
stuff is super fun. And they're like, hey, have you talked to that? Are you like canvassing or something?
They're
Like these
carrying
other girls
signs
going
that
around
said
and-
nerd. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. Super nerd.
Nerd.
So yeah, I guess that's me then. I'm Rich Filiberto. Some of you guys might know me out there as R Philly. I'm Warfrat1625 on Twitter. I'm a longtime fan and devotee of post-show recaps and all that good stuff. And so yeah, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since 1991. It is a passion of mine, clearly, to have endured for 30 years. I love it. I'm really excited to have this crew of people and to take a crack at this live gaming thing on the interwebs. So yeah, I'm excited. I guess with that,
I was 2
Yeah.
years old when you started playing Dungeons and Dragons, just to
Holy kill,
start
man,
things
you're
off on a
killing
nice
me.
fun note.
you're killing me. Old man syndrome. Okay, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. All right. And so with that, I guess we should begin. Should we not?
Let's do it.
Okay. Our story takes place in a world called Abrea. It's a world of dragons. These are not animalistic, fire-breathing lizards. These are sophisticated, cunning creatures with magic that can break reality, who count their lifetimes in centuries. They dominate every facet of life on this planet, from custom and culture to the politics and religion. The 10 greatest dragons of Abrea are called the draconic deities. They are literally its living gods who reside here on the world and answer the prayers of the people. There are no heavenly beings. There are no fiendish creatures that answer the prayers and the cries in the darkness of night of all the small folk that live in Abrea. But the dragons perform miracles for their devotees. The 5 chromatic dragons, the red, black, blue, green, and white, are malign despots who rule over 5 great kingdoms that dominate the world. These kingdoms are called the dynasties, and their churches and their governments are tyrannical dictatorships that are ultimately ruled by these living gods who lair beneath their respective capital cities across the realm. The 5 metallic dragons, the gold, silver, bronze, brass, and copper, are the last bastions of hope for people with good yet in their hearts in Abrea. They reside over 5 citadels. They're secret cities that are hidden from the world by potent magics. Those cities, the citadels, they're homes to knowledge, to safety, and to hope, to the hope that this world can change. Their people are nurtured, and they're cared for, and they're educated. They live good lives, but ultimately they're prisoners, and they're hiding from their ancient enemy as they have for thousands of years. And so tonight, we find ourselves in the Emerald Dynasty of the green worm Chimerion. Called the Corruptor by his worshippers and his foes, he's a god of illusion, deception, and manipulation in Abrea. The greatest spectacle of all the realms, it's been argued, is Chimerion's Gambit. It's a game that he holds every year. It's hosted in the city of Skaden, a ruin upon which has been built a new city around the edges of this ancient broken place hidden in the deep dark forests of the Emerald Dynasty. And every year, this despot, Chimerion the Corruptor, brings an assortment of exotic monsters, prisoners, and unlikely volunteers to participate in his gambit in this great game that he holds. The goal, ostensibly, is an easy one: to survive, to outlive your competitors, to make your way to the center of this arena in which you have been placed, and to emerge alive. To achieve this simple goal, however, one must contend with their fellow competitors, with the monsters and the traps and the illusions which lie in wait for them, and sometimes with the competitors of gambits years long gone. For not all who come into Chimerion's Gambit win or lose. Some of them merely end up here for decades or more, never to escape. And so tonight, as we focus in on our story, we find ourselves in a prison cell beneath the ground, dark, stone walls. It smells of musty earth and mildew and all the other foul and terrible things that you would find in the prison of the capital city of one of the most terrible gods you could imagine. You hear the sound of dripping water. Bloop, bloop, one drip, dripping, bloop, bloop, ever persistent, a constant nuisance to the inhabitant who lies therein. And he's been there for a number of weeks. Not a man as we would know him. No, a turtle. An old turtle who has seen much and been through many difficult times. His name is Shael Greythorn. And he sits with his back to the wall looking at the bars, the wrought iron bars in front of him, contemplating the weeks that he spent in this place. He took an oath to serve one of these despotic rulers, Melistrix the Black, and he turned against that oath. He took another oath as a holy warrior and was found out and sold for his crimes. And as the camera pans back from him through the bars into the hallway of this subterranean chamber, we see a wooden door at the end with a metal ring at the bottom and a large keyhole. And we hear the clattering of metal from the other side of the door. Click, clang, clang, clang. And the door pushes open, and in comes a guard, a bugbear, 7 foot tall, hulking, brutish, with floppy ears on his head and shaggy, stinking fur covered in mange. Foul things. And with him, he leads a dark-skinned man from the wilds, with long dreadlocks of white and wild eyes. And as he walks down, he stops in front of the chamber with the turtle in it, with Shael. And he turns to Ryeth Thunderbuck and says, "Well, you'll be with him for the night. Don't make any trouble. There's 60 of us out in that other room, and a city more on top. You hear me, sorcerer? You sit tight, and you be quiet, and we'll come find you in the morning." And he opens up again, reaching for this belt of keys that he has, and clangs with the cell door and pulls the barred door open and shoves you, Ryeth, into the cell, where you see in front of you a thing you've never seen before. What do you look like, Shael?
So I'm like a large turtle. However you want to assume that would be, I mean, like, 6 foot, a little bit over 6 foot, almost 600 pounds. I don't look it, but it's mostly shell. But I look pretty messed up all over. I look like I've seen possibly a couple of wars. But I'm a big turtle.
Ryeth, what do you look like?
Oh, all right. So I'm about average height, about 5'6", 5'8". Pretty athletic build. Looks like I've been out in the wild for a while. In addition to my dark skin, it's like extra tanned, so to speak. He did say white and blue dreadlocks, with strange shimmering lights within my eyes, and pretty young, about 17 years old.
And so as you stumble into this cell, like shoved from behind by this hulking bugbear guard, you hear the door clang behind you. Clang, clang, as he like relocks the door and chuckles for a moment, like, "You two get to know each other. Couple of days, one of you's gonna kill the other, I bet. I'm betting on a turtle." And he like turns then, and you hear his shuffling feet as he makes his way to the end of the hall and slams the wooden door at the end of it.
That guy's an asshole.
Yeah, he really wasn't very polite, was he? I mean, God, he's gonna have to push me around, lock me down so much. Ugh. Man, hey, how's it going? By the way, my name is Ryeth. I don't really know what I'm doing down here. I was just like trying to help some people out. I got stuck and shut in here. Whoa, what are you? You're really cool, man. You're like a turtle guy?
Yeah, pretty much. Turtle.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't go by turtles and turtle. They're connected, but not as much as you'd think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I totally. That sounds good. Yeah. So what? We're gonna have to kill each other? I don't really want to do that. That.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to die.
No, man. I just got out of training camp, and let me tell you, like, there's just so many cool things to see and do and experience. I mean, like you.
It's not all fun and games, although we have been put in a game. Kind of ironic.
Yeah, you speaking like riddles. You're really fine.
I think you're just too young to understand. You'll understand when you're older.
All right. I hope that's not a riddle.
Okay. And so with that, the scene fades and the camera comes in over this looming, darkened city that we see in our background, the city of Skaden, the outskirts, where as we follow another of these strange shelled figures, this one in manacles, being led down the cobblestone streets in between these tall, new construction wooden buildings that lie on the outskirts of the ruin that will host these games in the coming days. And we could see the glowing of light through the windows of candlelight and fireplaces. The city is bustling, for when Chimerian's gambit comes upon us, Skaden comes alive. People come from all over the world to scry the glorious battles and tricks and destruction that will play out within. And so we follow another one of these turtles, much different than the other, as he's led with this pack of bugbear guards down the street in chains and escorted into a tall stone building through huge double doors where more guards await and slam them closed as this entourage moves in. And they're just like, here we go, turtle. Now you get to meet the big boss. Up the stairs, up the stairs. And like yanking and pulling at their chain, this group of about a half dozen hulking, furred bugbears pull this shelled figure up a flight of stairs and then another and another until we lose count and finally come to a single stone door, which they open and push you through, Edgar, and drop the chains. And you see sitting out in this room before you a lone figure in a kind of throne almost made of stone. And he wears purple robes cowling his face. There's a small staff leaning up against his knee at his side. And he looks down at you like, well, this is delightful. I had been told of your coming. My agents in the field reported back to me that they had made quite a find, and I did not believe for an instant what they said, but it's true, isn't it?
This is
Look at you.
You didn't need to capture me. I was actually seeking an audience with you. I assume you are the ruler of this city.
This figure chuckles a little bit, and his fingers in these sort of blue fingerless gloves, like, they come up and he begins to like play with them a little bit, like, I suppose that I am, yes, I suppose that I am, certainly this time of year.
What
you've sought an audience, here it is, friend.
What shall I call you, sir? Ma'am?
Call
sir?
Me Vergen.
Vergen, yes. That's most rulers have some sort of title that they would prefer to be called, but Vergen works too. Hi, Vergen.
Just Vergen. I have had no formal title in many, many years, my strange friend. But thank you for your deference and respect. Such instincts will serve you well in the days to come.
How so, Vergen?
Well, what is your name? Do you have a name, your people? I thought you extinct. We had heard of, well, soon enough, I suppose, but you seem rather youthful.
As far as I know, I am the last of my kind. My name is Poe.
Poe. Ah, that's a lovely title. Last of your kind, of course you are, of course. Yes, certainly. He says you have come to the city of Skaden, to the very heart of the Emerald Dynasty, greatest of all 5 dynasties. And you've come in a most fortuitous time, my friend Poe, for Chimerion's gambit is upon us, and you, my lucky friend, shall be one of its noble participants.
I don't know if I have time for this gambit. I was on my way to another city to see about laying down some roots, and this place is a little darker than I anticipated, and I've really got to be on my way soon.
Oh, I understand. My shelled compatriot. You have a job to do.
Yes, a job. Yes.
Yes, of course. Well, I can offer you this. If you survive the coming weeks, you will likely be able to return to your job, and with much fanfare and adulation at that, for those who emerge from Skaden as a champion of the gambit, well, they are recognized across the realm as heroes. At least within the Emerald Dynasty, you will be given the greatest of luxuries and deference.
Oh, I've no need for luxuries here, my friend. I just, I'm a humble man and turtle, and would, really just like some peace and quiet in my life.
Oh, well, if that's what you seek, then you will find it easily enough when your death falls upon you in the games, my friend. He says, we would have paid great coin for one such as you, but fortunately, you stumbled right into our hands. Our people will be mad with delight to see you fighting for your life against that which I have arrayed against you this year. Oh, it will be delightful, and it is quite fortunate for us too, given the current roster of participants. I'm so very glad.
Well, I don't know. This battle axe may deceive. I'm not much of a fighter.
Well, you had best learn quickly, my friend.
Yeah.
For you will spend tonight in a place not of luxury, which I am glad to hear you do not seek. You will go tonight to our cells and sleep, and in the morning you will be introduced to many new friends, most of whom will try to part you from that precious shell on your back. So I hope that you take the time in the upcoming days to gather around you those who can fulfill your inadequacies. Perhaps you may train with your axe a bit and grow better at wielding it before we turn you loose. You have 3 days until you're sent in, and I don't know what you could learn in 3 days, but good luck.
Can I wildly look for a way to escape this situation? This does not sound great.
You start looking around this room, and you realize that arrayed around this room, quietly standing against the walls, are more of these bugbears, 7 and 7.5 feet tall. These ones wearing green, glimmering plate mail breastplates and greaves and gauntlets, holding hard ironwood 9-foot hafts with axe heads on the end, halberds, and all of them watch you. And he glances around like, oh, my friend, it's far too late. You have been brought deep, deep within the trap now. You should have stayed in your precious citadel. I would ask you about it, but you won't tell me. They never do, unfortunately.
Well, for friends, I tell my friends lots of interesting things. I've got all sorts of stories for friends, Bergen. Are we friends?
Oh, you are the absolute most magnificent person I have met all day. So we are certainly at the beginning of forging a wondrous friendship, my dear Poe.
Oh, great. If you mind, I don't know many friends who would like chain their other friends up.
Oh, I understand, but you must understand as well. You have a job. I have a job. My job is, well, to rule Skaden through the gambit and to give the people of the dynasty, the people of all the dynasties, a magnificent game to behold. And they will revel watching you. Fighting poorly, fighting well, it matters not. I hope that you last, and if you emerge, perhaps we will someday become dear friends. But for now, my hands too are tied, as are yours. I hope you understand.
I understand perfectly, friend.
Very well. It is delightful meeting you, though. Truly magnificent. I hope that you enjoy your evening. I believe it will be interesting to you, at least.
How many fingers do I have?
I mean, like, all together, are you counting your thumbs?
On
Technically,
one
you
hand.
have 8. You
I
have
have
4 on one hand, and
So
then
there's
you
no
have, like,
middle finger.
I mean, there
Just
is.
give
We
him
could
the whole
count the
nub.
thumb. You could give it. You want to give him the middle finger? You could do it. Yeah. So boom, boom, and he just chuckles as you go. That is delightful. Oh, I will always remember you, Poe. Know that. As you're like led out of the room by like these yanking hobgoblins pulling you. And so we shift now. As you come out of this room, you see standing in the hallway behind an elven man in purple and gold robes, his skin strangely overly tan, and the bugbears like pull you past before you can exchange or part any words and begin like dragging you down towards the lower levels. You may like pass a glance between each other, but as you, Poe, are pulled out of the scene, the camera hones in, focusing on Tone Goodheart. Tone, what do you look like? Lest I describe you inadequately.
Completely adequate description, I would say, right there. I would say a similar skin tone to Ryeth, but I would say that it's clearly much more fabricated than his is natural. He's got that smile that just says, you know, with one hand, I'm going to shake your hand, the other hand, I'm going to slip it into your pocket, for one connotation or another.
Excellent. And the smile endures despite the manacles on this poor elf's hands as he stands surrounded by guards. For he, too, like our first 3 guests of Vergen, has been incarcerated for his wrongdoing, having attempted to pickpocket an unsuspecting fool on the streets of Skaden and failed in the attempt. And so with that, Tone, you'd been captured this afternoon and held and questioned for quite a bit, and you end up here with these guards who now lead you into this stone chamber. And we see again this fellow Vergen sitting now like leaning forward eagerly in his chair with his purple vestments upon him and his blue kind of hood pulled up over his hand. And as you're led in, the bugbears close the door behind you again. And he just says, well, good evening. You're the one that they call Tone Goodheart, aren't you?
Absolutely. Looks like I'm underdressed for the occasion, might I say. You certainly do our dynasty a good name with the way you dress, good sir.
Oh, it seems that once upon a time your robes might have been as lavish as these, and perhaps someday they will be again, Tone Goodheart. And that is the matter at hand tonight. For you see, you have made a terrible error, and you have been caught red-handed.
No.
Which leaves us a series of options before us. We could cut your hands completely off.
To be fair, they're a beautiful piece of human creation. To rob them of me would essentially be, robbing a man of his craft and removing a piece of beauty from the world. It would be a crime against nature, if you don't mind me speaking out of turn. What was the name, Vergen?
Indeed, it was. And you do not speak out of turn.
You're anything but a Vergen if I get the cut of your jib.
He kind of snickers. He doesn't laugh. He throws you a snicker at that, and he says, I completely understand, which is why this is the option I am least interested in pursuing. For if we cut off your hands, you would be of no little value even to yourself, so we would have to hang you from the gibbets. And that would feed the crows, but do little else for the people of our kingdom. Which brings us to option 2. You know where you are, Tone Goodheart. You're in Skaden at the coming of Chimerion's Gambit. The games are upon us. So, option 2, we could throw you into the games and see if you emerge alive.
Yeah, to be fair, Vergen, great idea. Love the ambition, particularly straying away from the part where you cut my hands off. That being said, I'm obviously more of a talker than I really am a fighter. I mean, this thing I have on my back, I barely know how to use it. I have a feeling someone gave you that routine before, but the fact still remains. If you want me to commentate, to sell wares, what have you, I'm willing to do whatever. But as you said, I've lived here for quite a while. I spent my childhood here. The Gambit is virtually a 0% success rate with your life out there. It's essentially the death penalty, if you don't mind me saying.
I know it is, Tone. I know. And that is why option 2, while more palatable to me than the first, is one I would like to avoid. Now, you said many things just there, but only one of which I am concerned. That you would do anything to keep your life. And so if that is true, then I think that you will be amenable to option 3 as I presented.
3 was always my favorite number.
Fortuitous indeed. Fortuitous indeed, he says. You see, I have a guest arriving soon. A woman of great wealth and importance. Not to me per se, but to the big picture, might we suggest, to Chimerion himself. And what am I but a humble servant? And so, Master Tone, I present you with option 3. We will assist you in sustaining yourself while you participate in the Gambit. And you will assist us by protecting our treasured guest when she arrives. You will defer to her expertise if need be, but you will be her right hand, for she has a job to do, a mission, a task, one of great importance to one of the gods of our world, to my god Tone Goodheart. That is of paramount importance to you to understand now. Now, I know you not at all, but I know your type well. And you will feed me your honeyed words and tell me whatever it is you think I want to hear, which is perfectly reasonable in your circumstances. I do not blame you at all. So, I will ask you now to submit to the casting of a spell upon you, which will act as a sort of contract on this agreement to pursue option 3. And my promise to you in this contract is that you will emerge from the city of Skaden alive. You will not die in Chimerion's Gambit. You will only do so if the one who we task you with protecting does the same. Do you understand?
I'd rather be someone's right hand than lose my own. I will submit to whatever may come my way. I am your toy. Play away.
You are a delightful elf, Master Tone. Of all the
Thank you.
terrible fools I have met in my line of work, they bring in these pitiful, crying slaves, begging for their lives, as though I could possibly care. They are sport for me. They will give such joy to so many people. Their death will be so much more than their life ever could have been. But you, Master Tone, you will live for many years, and hopefully this is the beginning of a very beneficial relationship for both of us.
From your lips to the dragon's ears, eh?
And so with that, he kind of rises up out of the seat that he's in, and he lifts up like this strange cane that he has and like steps forward towards you. And you see that his words are like silently sliding from his lips as they move like quickly in this whisper, hushed whisper, and he walks around you standing in a circle. And then he reaches out one hand to you off the staff to shake, and he says, "You will agree to the arrangement we have made to protect the one who we seek you to protect and defer to her in exchange for your life out of the gambit.
I agree, and I
And
shake
so-
his hand.
He shakes your hand, and as he does, you feel this magic wash over you, and your mind like reels for a moment. You've been exposed to a good deal of magic, born where you were in the life that you've lived. You've seen a lot, but you've never experienced anything tangibly like this. You feel like the words that he spoke kind of echoing in your mind lock into place. You can see them almost like burning themselves in light across darkness and the back of your eyelids, and you recognize that you have bound yourselves in guise to this man, in that you will like serve this one who he puts you to protect. And so with that, he like smiles and he says, very well. He says, your accommodations tonight will not be hospitable, but it will only be for one night. Tomorrow you will meet your fellow competitors and our ally, our mutual ally, and you will begin your journey out of Skaden, Master Tone. It has been delightful working with you.
Oh, same, absolutely. And hey, here's hoping we'll have many more chances to see each other again. I'll see you on the other side of the gambit.
Oh, indeed, my friend, indeed. I like this one. He says to like one of the bugbears, like not in particular, and they don't like respond. But with that, he like gestures, and one of them steps over and opens the door. And so they lead you out of the room and down through a winding set of stairs to a dungeon, which we've seen before. And so finally, the shot changes and cuts as a door closes behind Tone. We see the moonlight glimmering down on the city, the lit windows of the city of Skaden as the night wears on, and we follow a carriage being drawn through the streets, the cobblestones, the clopping of the horse's hooves as it goes. This carriage rolls through these tall wooden buildings looming over it, dancing in and out of the shadows. Crows alight on many of these buildings and trees as we go. And they're very familiar to the rider therein, for she's grown up in the Emerald Dynasty. She is of it. And she arrives at the same building where we've been before, though not in chains at all. She slides from out of the inside of the carriage when there's a knock at the door, and her rider tells her, Lady Hollowwhisper, we've arrived. And so the door opens, and out steps Thinnea Hollowwhisper. What do you look like, Thinnea?
I do have things on my wrists, but it's just very fine jewelry. So it's just a little bit different. So I'm tall, about like 5'10" or so, and I have dark hair. Right now it's in very Game of Thrones-esque braids, so lots and lots of braids. I wear a tiara, it's a lower tiara that's on the head rather than sitting on top of the head. And I wear like a white ball gown. I don't think that there's any confusing the fact that she loves her finery, so. Has anybody lost sound for him?
Yeah, we lost sound.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself when you were talking. As you step out of the carriage, the driver like nods to you and gestures to the door, and you see that the door is being held open, and there's these bugbear guards that we've seen all night, hulking and brutish with their weapons at their side. But standing in the door is a man in fine silken robes that are green, emerald green, and we see the symbol, the emerald symbol of Chimerion, hanging in a pendant around his neck. And you, Thinnea, recognize him immediately as one of the clergy, as some priest of the church, right? And he steps out of the door as you step down off of the carriage, like, Lady Hollowwhisper, welcome. It is truly an honor to have you here in Skaden for the Gambit this year. My Lord Vergen awaits us upstairs, and he is highly excited at your arrival.
I look
Was
forward
your travel
to meeting him.
well?
Yeah, it's as usual. Carriages tend to be a little bit uncomfortable when you spend so much time in them.
Indeed, I hate to hear it. We, of course, have a room appointed for you if you would like to change or freshen up. There are wines waiting for you there, fruits and breads as well. My lord is prepared to receive you whenever you are ready.
I'll certainly partake in some wine prior to meeting him.
Of course, of course. We will escort you. And so he leads you up the staircase, and we don't go as far up as we did before. At one of these floors, you turn off and begin like heading down this hallway to a door, which he then like takes a key and opens and hands you the key to. Like, here are your chambers. I'm afraid, well, I don't know how long you'll be here, but for as long as you are, everything you need is inside, and I will wait here to attend you when you are ready.
Thank you.
Yes, my lady. And like he just like nods and turns, like standing stoically next to the door as you head in. And you see it's like a very well appointed room. There's all manner of finery, food, a couple of different bottles of like wine, like particular vintages that are known to be of your taste.
Well done. I will reach into a small bag that I hold with me, and I'm going to pull out my own chalice and pour some wine into my own chalice.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And drink the wine.
Yeah, so I mean, you're there for as long as you would like. There's also like a basin of water, and there's all manner of like dresses you see like hanging from a hook on one of the walls, like a post, as though you would wear this like. As though they could give you anything better than what you have. Fools. But there is, there's like towels and some like clean things for you to like wash up and get clean. But they're basically like just waiting for you to tell them that you're ready, and they will bring you to Verdun.
Yeah, I won't spend too much time. I'll maybe eat one grape and then go on my way.
Okay. And so you head back out, and this very deferential acolyte or whatever is just like, yes, my lady, please. And he escorts you upstairs through a few more staircases to this marble door that we've been to before. And he knocks softly on it as he pushes it open and just like gestures for you to go in. And as you step in, now you, Thinnea, see this figure who we've seen before tonight, this strange-looking being with this pale skin and this kind of mark on their forehead and in their purple mantle and blue robes. And as you come in for the first time tonight, we see him rise while you step into the room, and he steps down from like the dais where the chair is, approaching you. Like, my lady Hollow Whisper, delightful to have you. I am Vergen. Welcome. Welcome to Skaden.
And I will give him a very practiced, very grand curtsy. And then I will walk up to him.
And so with that, he, as you are walking, gives like the, equally ostentatious bow, bending to the ground and rising himself back up. And so you approach him, and he's smiling delightfully. And he says, I understand you have very little knowledge of why you've been sent here for any of this, but I can assure you that the task at hand is one that has great potential for you to carve the path of your own future and your family's. He says, surely you've heard of the whispers of war. He says some general from the Crimson Dynasty was killed in the city of Meech some months past by revolutionaries. The Onyx, Crimson, and Sapphire dynasties are clawing at each other, and a war certainly will spring up. It may not last long, and it might be stifled, but Chimerion sees opportunity, and we hope to fan the flames. He says, if it's with that I take you to this. What I'm going to ask of you, I've been told you are capable of, and I've been told you will agree to, but I am not certain of it yet. They say your devotion to your family, to Chimerion, is potent. Is that fair? Are you committed?
More than anyone else.
He like chuckles, like, if you do your reputation well, my lady. He says, you are going to be asked to step into the gambit tomorrow, to volunteer to enter. What do you say to that?
I am going to take one of my daggers, and I'm going to throw it at the wall behind him, just to like get it to stick at the wall behind him.
Like turns, glancing over his shoulder, turning back at you, smiling like, everything they said you would be, Lady Hollowwhisper, truly. He says, well, let me move then to the matter at hand. He said, we need not dance around if you are so eager and committed as they have told me. We, some months ago, came into a creature of incredible value. One that was wide thought to be extinct. Are you familiar with turtles? He asks you. Have you seen them before? And he wiggles his fingers quickly, and this image kind of conjures up in the air between the two of you of like a little turtle, you know, a little like a slider painted turtle with like tiny little hands. It's like really cute. It's floating in the air between the two of you.
You hear turtle.
And so he points at this like illusion that's kind of like floating between the two of you, and he says, are you familiar with turtles?
Of course, I've read all of the normal children's books.
He says, well, we can never be sure. He says, of course. And with that, he moves his hand, and you see the shape of this tiny little turtle, like all of a sudden kind of like vertically like stand and raise and like begin to like hulk up into this big anthropomorphic thing. And he says, with the coming of the metallics and the second arrival, when our Lord and Master Chimerion swept his Emerald Legions across the forest, we slew many creatures and wiped them completely from the face of this earth. And we thought that these were among them. They are called turtles. They call themselves this. Not particularly original, I must wonder, but he says, they have strong ties to the citadels. These creatures have not been seen in the world in thousands of years. I have not seen one since I cannot even begin to remember. But, he says, one has long been held in the Onyx Dynasty of Milistrix. She found it 50 years ago or so, wandering out in the wilds, and she took great delight in corrupting it and defiling it. She turned it into a slaver, and he had a bit of a reputation for those who pay attention to such things, but he's fallen from her grace, and for a lucrative arrangement and quite a valuable sum of gemstones, we have purchased this individual from her, and he will enter the games tomorrow. And as only Chimerion's good fortune could, against all conceivable expectations, not 10 days ago, we found another of these creatures wandering stupidly along the coastline. He says, we've captured both of them, and they both go in tomorrow to the games. He says,
Can we breed them?
I believe they are both male, but I'm not certain how such operations even would occur with these things. But that is a good question for you to ask. For your job, Thinnea Hollowwhisper, will be to become their dearest friends and closest allies. He says you will go into the games tomorrow as a volunteer, and you will aid them as you can. We have made other arrangements. There's an elven monk that we've taken into service. He will be your right hand in this. He has been bound by spells. He will defer to you if need be, but he will work with you to keep them alive. He says, I can only begin to imagine Chimerion's plans. He is a god of deception, masterful. He will do things this century which will not bear fruit for another 3, but he has a plan for these creatures. And for whatever reason, he believes placing all of you through the gambit is where this plan starts. So that is your task for now. Do you have any questions?
No.
None at all, he says.
No.
And he turns back to the random bugbear he was talking to before about Tone, 2 in a row, just magnificent. This year is going to be good, very good. He says, very well, Lady Hollowwhisper. Says Tone Goodheart is the elf you're looking for. He wears a terrible fake tan, but I'm not sure what he's going for there. You will not be able to miss him. faded blue, purple and gold robes. Tomorrow you will meet him. He says, now it is important, this last thing. Have you ever watched The Gambit before?
Of course.
Well, then you know. All the spectators, they come to see it through the scrying pools at the fine establishments of housing and through the magic that we place to see through the eyes of the crows that fill the ruins. And as you know so well, if you have watched it before, we watch the games through the very eyes of the competitors. He says, so unfortunately, you will have to go through the placing of the glyph tomorrow along with the rest of them. It will hurt. I will not pretend it will be anything other than terrible pain when they place it on you, but know that you are beloved by our master. The corruptor holds your family, and you especially, young Hollow Whisper, in great esteem. So while you endure the agony that is the binding, just know that he has plans yet for you. Keep your faith strong, and your resolve shall carry you through.
I live only to serve him.
Music, like music. Oh, magnificent, he says. Magnificent. And so with that, he gestures like, I hope that the accommodations have been well. If there's anything you need, ask for it and you will have it. And so with that, you're escorted out and back down to your chamber.
I'm going to grab my dagger from the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll curtsy to him again. And then right before I leave the door, I'm going to turn back around and say, this Tone Goodheart, I don't like the attire that you've described. Can we get him something else to wear so I can be seen with him?
Of course, my lady, of course. You may dress him as though he's one of your jobs. You can try, at least. There are limits, he says to you, to what we have bound him in. Do not push it too far.
I just figured
he still has his free will, he says, but
with bows in his hair.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a makeover scene happening, I'm assuming.
I'm sorry, Mike, but I'm not sorry.
Damn spell! That's why you always read the fine print, kids.
And so with the two of you chuckling conspiratorially about Tone's new wardrobe, the kind of scene fades out to black. And we see again a door that we saw before, the wooden door in the basement, right? The wooden door of this dungeon hallway. And it opens after the clattering of the keys and the clanging on the other side. And in comes Edgar and Tone being led into this place. And so Ryeth and Shael, as you guys sit in your cell, you see this elven man with this sort of ridiculous tan on him and this much younger turtle led down the hall. And they kind of glance in at the two of you and chuckle as they open the cell across the hall and escort you two, Tone and Edgar, into it. They gesture for you to head in and slam the door behind, closing again with the keys. And with
he was much nicer to them than he was to you.
Me?
Yeah. He just told them to walk in, threw you in.
Yeah, I mean, I just kept asking him questions. He said, stop asking me questions. I said, but I can't, I'm just really curious right now. I'm, some people...
Right, you're excited for your first time in prison.
This is prison? That's where we are? I thought I was on a museum tour or something.
You guys are across the hall, hearing this now. You see this young kid with the dreads talking to this other turtle, and you see Edgar, as you step in, as you step into the cell, and you hear the voices of these other two talking, and you turn around to see the cell door close. And as the bugbear kind of steps out of your view, you see sitting in the other cell across the hall from you, the other turtle and this young kid with the dreads.
Friend, hello, and I try to get his attention. I just wave, try to get his attention.
Oh, hey!
Not you.
You have a friend over there?
I thought I was alone. Sir.
Yes. Yes.
Not you.
Squinting my eyes from across the. I don't have my reading glasses.
Can you see me over here?
Yes, of course I can see you. I'm right
Not
next to you.
you.
Of course I can see you. You're right in front of me.
Yeah,
Maddening.
I do see you. Do you see me?
Yes, my name is Poe. And I kind of like go to the bars and like grab them, and I'm like, what? And I'm just like looking for my words. And who are you? Who are you?
Well, I mean, more importantly, how long have you been on the mainland? Like, what are you doing here?
I've only been here for a few days. I was captured immediately upon hitting shore. I'm on a mission. Well, shoot, I can't say anything about that here. What is your name?
My name is Shell. That's all you need to know for now.
Shell. Okay, so would I know, DM, of Shell?
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely. You like know the name, right? You're both from Aram's Bronze Fortress beneath the waves, and the whole like purpose of your mission was because the last one sent out, Shael Greythorn, was sent out many years ago and never returned. You know the name immediately.
Okay, so once I hear the name, I can't so I'm like Shael. Indeed. I thought you look like somebody I knew once. And then I kind of like go and start like praying in the corner.
I really thought that when no word had come back for like 200 years, they would not have sent another asshole.
Shell! Stop. We can talk later. Maybe.
I'll walk to the bars now and I'll say, well, let's not ignore our other friend in the corner. He needs to be acknowledged as well. Good evening to thee, young man. I see you're looking well. Very chipper for the situation that we're in right now, I might add.
Yeah, I mean, the reality just hit me that this is actually prison. But that's cool. It's my first time, like you said. I'm going to make the best of it, make the best of every opportunity.
Think about this, though, my young friend. Are we not always in a prison? Whether this be we're a prisoner of our emotions, of our deepest urges. So theoretically, this might not be your first time in a metaphoric prison, more so a literal prison. So you've been a prisoner your whole life, my whole life as well. But at least yours, my friend.
That's really deep. He talks in riddles too, man. You guys, you get along really well. Anyways, want to take a bet? I bet you that the next guy that walks in here has a turtle with him too. You want to make a bet? No.
I will take that bet. It seems like we're 2 for 2 right now.
Right.
I would not be surprised.
Chances are up right now, and I'm not liking the good odds.
What's your name, young man?
Oh, hey man, my name's Ryeth Thunderbuck. I'm just like a worldly guy. Just got out of camp. Wait, everyone always laughs when I say that, man. I'm kidding. Anyways, yeah, my name's Ryeth Thunder. What's your name, sir? You really nice. You just get in there, man.
Oh, thank you. I'm a people person. It's what I do for a living, one might say. Tone Goodheart. I don't know if you've possibly heard of me or my technique of finding the good tone within yourself. It's something. I'm a worldly man as well. I've actually originally from these parts, but I've spent the past several years of my life just touring around Abrea, trying to give the good word to those who might need it, the downtrodden, the destitute, the dumb, for lack of a better term. And I'm here to just show people that they can be the person that they've always wanted to be, just by believing in themselves.
Can I help you do that? I mean, that's kind of like what I do, man. They said when I left, I just have to help everyone. I have to figure out every facet of how to help everyone in every situation. It's a little. I mean, I think with your guidance, I would be able to get there quicker, maybe.
My friend, absolutely. Why can we not turn a blood sport into a time to forge bonds and make lifelong friendships? Granted, I don't know how long those lives will be in said blood sport, but we could really change the game here, foster great opportunities, and and really foster camaraderie in a way to better the lives of ourselves and therefore those that are spectating throughout this glorious gauntlet.
Teamwork may, in fact, be our best option.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, so you guys heard too? Yeah, that was the last thing he said.
Yeah, we're kind of sitting in the same room.
Yeah.
I don't know. This guy's been muttering to himself for the past 2 minutes. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with him.
Deimos, please guide me in my journey tomorrow. It seems like these idiots are going to get me killed. I really want to die before my mission has been completed. And this other turtle, I have no idea where he's been gone for years. I need to talk to him, but these morons are around me just blabbing away, and we're in different cells, and I just keep muttering to my God.
I love it. Yeah, so I mean, you guys are in here for like the evening, the four of you for the night. Thinnea, you've returned to your luxurious chambers where they bring you the acolyte like knocks on the door after you're there for a few minutes, like before you possibly could have gone to sleep, and he's just like he says, "My Lord Vergen wanted me to assure you we have brought a vast array of clothes to the staging area, the training place tomorrow. So yeah, your selection, it should be available, but if there's not something you like there, please let us know. We can give you additional options."
And I'll nod at him.
Yes, okay, excellent. And so with that, he says, "Please enjoy your night. I'm sorry," and they like take off. And so with that, yes, we fade out, and the night passes. We arrive now into like the next morning, right? And this is it. This is like the morning of like, the idea is that during Chimerian's Gambit, people are let in like pretty much every couple of days for almost the entirety of the month. Like many people participate in this, and they go in sort of in waves. So the grouping for this week, like you're going to meet your competitors the next morning, right? And essentially, yes, we come back to Thinnea's room again, and there's your acolyte knocking at the door in the morning. It's an entirely different person with exactly the same kind of clothes and vestments, and they're just like, "Lady Hollowist, but we will escort you to the area with the rest of the volunteers who are heading in."
And I'll say, "Give me just one moment in privacy, please."
Of course. And they like wait for you in the hall.
And once they close the door, I'm going to take any of the non-perishable items, especially the wine, and I'm going to put it into my bag of holding.
Excellent. You got it. You have like, let's say 6 bottles of wine left, right? I don't know however many you drank last night, but there's 6 left, and there's definitely like some bread and stuff. There was a lot of fruit, but there's bread, and yeah, that was pretty much it in terms of food.
And then I'll join them.
Okay, and so you slide out into the hall, and they escort you down through the staircases and through like the winding paths of this building, and you, knowing like Skaden relatively well, have an idea of like where you're heading, and you know that you're heading like in towards the actual ruins of the city, and so essentially like you leave this building and escorted like through the streets for a ways. There's a contingent of guards with you along with this acolyte. There are many people that you see bustling in the streets. It's not like ridiculously early in the morning because you're a noblewoman who's been drinking all night, right? So like whatever. You know.
I definitely have like a sleep mask.
Right. Yeah, right. It's late morning, right? We're rolling up kind of towards noon time. And so you're escorted through the city, and you could see everywhere just people from the Emerald Dynasties who come, people from all the other dynasties, and they literally there are establishments that you can rent out that have scrying like mirrors and pools that you can look into, and there are other places that have more specialized means. You can rent like these large kind of almost like floating discs that will like levitate actually out like above the area that have like scrying things on them. There's all manner of ways in which people spectate these games that you're familiar with, and you think to yourself, right? Like, I mean, in years past, you would have been here with your family, like all these people that you walk past. But this year, you are heading for the great gates of Skaden and like heading to participate in the Gambit. It's an entirely different kind of feeling that you have. But essentially, you're led to The trees begin like getting bigger and bigger as you go in. There's much less cut down forest around the buildings. We're moving towards the ruins, and there's one large stone building that has vines growing up around the edges of it, and it's covered in moss. We could see cracks in the edges of the stone, and this sort of huge, like enormous doorway that leads into it. And you're escorted in with this entourage. And as you come in, you see like sitting in like a high kind of throne in like the back of this hall is Vergen again from the night before. And there are 5 other people that are in this place with you. You see like a human man with kind of like longer blonde hair wearing armor and a red cloak and a sword. There's a minotaur, which you probably have never seen before in your life, standing like well over 8 feet tall, hulking, muscled, with this bovine, like bull's head and these enormous horns rolling up off of the top of it with a large axe strapped to his back. You see a woman who looks kind of like a wild woman. She has long blonde, like dirty blonde hair with like braids and much of it, and a huge round shield on her back, sword at her belt. And another woman in lavender kind of like leathers and finery, clothes that you would wear, not a dress, were so like frivolous. These look much more functional. They're pants and like leather armor, but it's all like exquisitely done. Well made, well paid for. It looks expensive. And so she has white hair kind of flowing around her, and her eyes look very like pale. And the final one is this tall, hulking orc who has white paint on his face marked in a sigil that you recognize as like devotion to Chimerion, right? This is an orc with like an open like sigil of like devotion to the god. And so you realize like these are the other people who are volunteering this year, as you see them all. And you know, they're all kind of eyeing you warily as you approach, and I'm sure you them. And you see Vergen like nod to you from up at the seat, and he calls out like, all of you have come here of your will, he says, but we wait now for those participants who have not volunteered for their own motivations. And together, he says, all of us will proceed through the rite of the glyphing. He says, since you have all come freely of your own accord, I will explain to you now what will occur. But it will be potent magic that we use on you. Each of you, should you die in the gambit, or should you survive to be a champion to the dynasty and to the people, you will bear the mark of Chimerion for the rest of your days. He says it is through this magic that we will be able to view through your eyes, watch you, track you, know where you are, that your participation in this will be more than meaningless death. He says, and it will be painful for all of you, but I know none of you have come here with your decisions lightly, for whatever reason brings you. And so as he's kind of finishing up at the speech, you hear like coming from behind the sounds of like clattering chains. And with that, we shoot back to you 4 men, you prisoners. As the morning like wears on and you're sitting in your cells, the bugbears come. And this time it looks like there's like 20 of them as they like come in. They fill the fucking hall as they're taking the 4 of you out. None of you have any of your equipment, your weapons, your armor, your shields and spellcasting components, and these things have been taken away from you. Thunderbuck, they have your hand wrapped in leather thongs. So like the somatic components, right? Like literally bound almost in a leather belt and then tied over again with a rope as well.
Can I get a ball gag too? Is that acceptable? Or?
No ball gag. They don't ball
for my
gag
verbal components, no?
I know they should, but they don't ball gag you. They take you guys, the 4 of you, and lead you up out of this place. And you come into a grouping with a few other people that you see in manacles. Who's with you guys? Right. Okay. You see with you a woman in like tattered black robes with like black hair and like very kind of pale skin. This like really tousled. She looks like dirty and haggard and as though she's been through some hard shit in the past couple of days. There's a goblin with them. He looks like not as filthy and grimy as most goblins that you see, but he's a goblin. There's a dwarf rather, who has this braided beard, very long and kind of well manicured looking like, and he doesn't look as like rough as the first two. Like he clearly hasn't been in chains for as long. And there's this very strange looking hobgoblin with them who has almost like a beak. The way his mouth forms is into like this disgusting looking beak. And he has this strange like thing mounted onto the top of his head. But all of you in manacles, the 8 of you, these 4 strangers and you 4, are led through the streets. And as you are, people are like cheering and screaming. Some of them like throwing down flowers at you, others throwing like rotten fruit as you go from the streets, from the upper windows. And so the guards at one point, like one of the bugbears standing close to you guys is just like, I hope you all enjoy it. He says, one of you might get out alive, but I doubt it. Usually it's them volunteers that cut their way through you. You all go in as fodder. But I'm going to put money on these 2. You guys got your built-in armor, don't you, you turtles? How much do those shells go for on the open market, I wonder? They're just like kind of like talking and taunting you as they lead you through the streets. And ultimately you're brought into this chamber where sitting in the back is Vergen. And you see these other 6 people, the noblewoman in the white gown and the others and all of them standing here in this room. And Vergen stands as you come in like, here we are. This week's crop, it will be delightful. Look at all of you. He says, I do wish all of you good fortune and good luck, but most of you will not receive either of those things. You will die miserably in the next 2 or 3 days, and I will delight in watching it. He says, for now, you will be bound and glyphed. This is the first of the processes that will go on in the next 2 days. He says, you'll be taken from here to a training area where you're allowed to mingle and meet one another. Decide who you want to kill first. Test your skills. You will have supplies provided to you. All of you will be sent in with a pack of some supplies to sustain you for whatever time you are going to spend in the gambit. There will be weapons. I wish you the best. But with that, let us begin. And so, yeah. Jump in, John. What do you got?
No, I was gonna. Are these our weapons, or are you providing just random weapons? Because I've got some important stuff that was taken away. Aren't we friends, Vergen? Can't I have my stuff back?
Oh, my dear friend Poe, have a look at him, all of you. Look, I've got two in the very same week. And he points.
I start a slow clap.
I'll join in the clap.
This is only because I have such optimism for you, dear Poe, and such hope for a friendship to grow with us. I will provide you with your weapons. I will be sure that they are in the training room so you can receive them back. Because as you look at like these other noble people who are here, the Minotaur, the Orc, they're all wearing really nice weapons and armor. It's just like you got 8 that are in the manacles that have nothing, right? The rest of them are like very well arrayed. And so one by one. Oh, what were you going to say?
No.
Okay.
Way to take my thunder away, Vergen. I was going to fight you for it.
One by one, he leads each of you up. And it begins with the Minotaur, like muscles his way to the front of like a line. And then after the Minotaur comes the Orc. And you see like each one as they come to Vergen. And he places their hand on the back of their neck. And he whispers some words, and suddenly they cry out in pain. The Minotaur and the Orc, the Minotaur is just like, ugh! And the Orc like makes not a sound. But after the Orc comes the human man in the armor, and he like screams out like, ah! And you see him like grab his head as it ends, and he like falls to his knees, and like gets back up like, oh. touches the back of his neck and kind of like walks away as the others chuckle. And so they go through all of them until the noblewoman with the raven black hair and the white dress. And Thinnea, you step up. And Vergen steps up back to you and he just says, I'm terribly, terribly sorry. I do wish you the best of luck, though. And he reaches out and like touches the back of your neck, Thinnea, and you take 6 points of psychic damage. Not much at all.
Can I roll like con or something to try not to scream?
Yeah, make a Constitution saving throw with a DC, let's say, of 8 plus that damage. Call it 12. DC 12.
I only have +1.
Roll good. Roll good. 17.
roll.
Nice.
You all remark, you take note of this noblewoman who makes not a sound. As you see her from her, as she drifts her hair like back around her back, like you could see the glimmering of like a small green light on the back of her neck diminishing. And then you guys come up. And so
Can I nod
Yes.
at the orc afterwards?
Oh yeah. And as you do, he gives you like the slow like acknowledgement as he catches your attention.
Okay.
Or you catch his. And so each one of you four is brought up. First the turtles, first Shael, his first prize. 9 points of psychic damage, Shael, as this man like touches the back of your neck and you feel the searing lance of pain in your mind just tear through your brain as this like spike, this arcane spike is driven into your mind.
Yeah, but there's no way that this is the worst damage or the worst.
No, not
torture
even close. Shael has been like mutilated and brutalized. So yeah, you don't even have to roll to not make a sound. Next, Ryeth, Thunderbuck. 11 points of psychic damage.
That was painful. Can I make an Arcana check to see what
Excuse me.
what sort of spell that they got?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken.
15.
Okay, so you've heard of magic like this before. This is like some variation of a mind spike. And like you realize it's very powerful and very potent. And you recognize with your Arcana check that in fact, like he's doing this with the staff that he's holding in his hand. Like he's the agent activating the staff, but like the staff that he's got clutched, this like eldritch looking gnarled little like quarter staff is what's creating the magic, right? Do you scream out when this goes down?
Of course I scream out.
Okay.
Ah!
Okay. That's what I'm looking for. Ryeth like screaming is like the guards like pull him out of the way by the manacles. Edgar, 10 points of psychic damage as Vergen touches the back of your neck and this pain lances through your mind. Edgar screams. And Ton, last of all, as Vergen like touches you like softly with his gentle fingers, and then horrible pain lances through your mind for 13 points of psychic damage.
I'll make a saving throw.
Okay, go for it. 15.
15. I laugh. Ah! Oh! Ooh! Ha! Well, that could have hurt a lot worse if I didn't believe in myself, huh? And I'll make sure I make eye contact with each and every person. And in my mind, I'm just saying, like, God, oh, God, that hurts. It hurts so bad.
His name's Tone Goodheart, but we can call him Tone Lockley around these parts. Okay, cool. As this is all done, Vergen like kind of gestures to all of you like, well then, I invite you all to get to know each other. Take advantage of the accommodations that will be provided to you in the upcoming day. Eat, enjoy your food, for none will be provided to you out there, save what opponents you can find and kill. Good luck, participants. I do have great expectations for all of you, but You should not have such great expectations for yourselves. As he like chuckles, and like with that, you guys are led, like you see a room in the back, a door in the back of this hall that you gestured to, and as you step through it, out in front of you is this large marble chamber surrounded by pillars. And there's a big like recessed kind of area, pit in the middle, and a pool of water at the side. And as each one of you prisoners is being led in, they unhook your manacles and let you like move into the room. And you could see that like there are many guards around from behind. And so the rest of these folks like spread out, and they start spreading out like quickly into the room. The Minotaur like jumps down into the pit. And with this, I will place your tokens on the map. And perhaps we take our break now. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that sounds like a good
I
plan.
think it's a good time, yeah.
Take our break
Cool.
when they take a break.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be talking, we're going to chat here, but, if you need to use the restroom or whatever, have a smoke, grab a bite, we'll be, hanging out for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back to the action in about 10 minutes.
Okay, excellent. I will do those things. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, Mike, Celebrity Big Brother just started.
Yeah. So
Or
they
didn't
just
start.
announced.
They announced.
Yeah. So they just announced the cast 2 days ago at this point, and they'll be airing on Wednesday. So for those of you that don't know, not only do I podcast, I also am a journalist for Parade.com who covers a lot of the CBS reality stuff. Right now, I'm doing exit press for The Amazing Race 30. I'll probably be doing something with Celebrity Big Brother. And of course, at the end of February is Survivor 36. So I'll be doing some coverage there as well. But yeah, the cast just got announced on Sunday. Really interesting group of people. I'm just excited at this point to now that there's actual quote unquote celebrities in our mind's eye to actually, see what happens.
Yeah, what did you think of the cast?
I mean, and I don't know exactly what people were sort of building their hopes up to, considering we've seen, and I'm fine with it. We've seen Celebrity Apprentice, we've seen Dancing with the Stars, we've seen Celebrity Blank, Celebrity Fit Club, Celebrity, I don't know, I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. This is the class of people. So that being said, I enjoy the cast overall. As someone who's covered Celebrity Apprentice in the past, we have a few alumni in there: Mark McGrath, Brandy Glanville, Kishinai Polium, even though she lasted one episode, and of course Omarosa. Which, yeah, that'll be the interesting one. It'll be interesting to watch these people play a game.
Is it going to be the typical Big Brother game, or is there going to be America influence? Do we know what the format's going to be yet?
So that's the what we've heard so far, and again, more details to come as they're announced. And I'm sure as they are, I will cover that as well. Hopefully for Parade, they are incorporating elements of the U.S. version in. So for those of you that don't know, there's a UK version that does Celebrity Big Brother twice a year at this point, but they do it in the UK format, which is it's all done by the popular vote. So the audience votes.
Worst.
It could be fun. It could be the worst, but it can also be fun at the same time. Because then you can really say, "Oh, I don't like this person." Now you have active power to get rid of them. But so they're not going in that direction. I do think there's going to be a popular vote involved in some capacity, just not entirely sure what it is. But it seems like they're involving some facets of the American game, which should be interesting again, because it's not so much now about, hey, here are some celebrities living in the house. It's, okay, celebrities actually have to scheme and connive against each other. How much will they scheme and connive against each other? I'm not entirely sure, because it's a show that broadcasts, cameras on them 24/7, and they also have images to maintain. But I'm still excited for it.
Well, okay, so Brandy Omarosa and Ross Matthews, I think, are going to I think Ross Matthews, he's a fan, right? So he will probably be a player, and I can see Brandy and Omarosa getting into the drama side of everything and scheming just because they're known for being schemers,
So that's the thing, is that it also depends on image, because you have Omarosa especially comes in with this villainess role. Brandy is, even though she's a New York Times bestselling author, she's a Real Housewife, so people know her to cause drama. But yeah, Ross Matthews, I'm excited for. One of the many shows that I cover is RuPaul's Drag Race, where he's sort of become a main stage judge on that. I think he's super funny, and like you said, he's a big fan, so he can also sort of play into that sort of archetype as the quote-unquote sassy gay role to make himself a little more palatable. Whereas if I don't think anyone's really coming in as a big hero necessarily, but if they try to do something devious, maybe they will not play as well to their fan base or to expectations.
So what else do you have going on right now? You're doing Top Chef and...
Yep. So I podcast about Top Chef. I podcast about Big Brother. I will be doing some covering of the upcoming Survivor season, but right now I do an ongoing podcast called The Survivor Historians, which takes a look at previous seasons of Survivor. I do a Saturday Night Live podcast. I do a bunch of other podcasts like Westworld and others when the shows come about. I also have an ongoing movie podcast called The Hamster Factor, where I do a podcast with a guy named AJ Mass. He's a great guy, writes for ESPN. He shows me a movie that I've never seen before, and he has. I have not seen a good amount of movies in my lifetime, so he exposes me to it, whether good or bad. And it's a fun way to sort of look at that stuff through the lens where he saw it at the time and the lens where I'm seeing it now in the 21st century, to sort of compare and contrast our opinions. That's a lot. There's a lot. I love doing it, but I plug everything that I do on my Twitter at a Mike Bloom type. So if you were at all mired down in those plugs, which I'm sure you were, you can check it out.
No, I mean,
I love the Hamster Factory, by the way. It's so good, man. It's one of my favorites, Mike. It's a good one.
Oh, you're too kind. Yeah, we just finished Can't Hardly Wait, which is the really fun late 90s teen comedy featuring literally everyone.
Yeah.
So that was a fun thing to see.
I just started watching Grace and Frankie with my wife, and Ethan Embry's on that show, and it's so weird to see him not as like a teen star.
Right?
Yeah, he was like I would say Can't Hardly Wait's an interesting movie because you catch so many people before their careers take off. The one exception might be Ethan Embry, because this is post Empire Records. He seemed to be really at the zenith, and then he was on Grace and Frankie. He's been on like a couple of other random things, but yeah, compared to the others, his career in the 21st century kind of pales.
Yep. So Taryn, let's talk a little. Well, I've got so Alan, if you want, we can take our breaks now that they're back. But I just wanted to dig in on Last Refuge. I'll let Rich take control now. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, Taryn, tell us about The Last Refuge, because I love it. I'm behind. Because I've been doing DM things, but I do love the front end.
Yeah, no, it's a homebrew actual play podcast. It's a lot of fun. We've all been playing together since we started, so that's a great group dynamic. There's a lot of sass,
awesome, which
this group hasn't experienced a whole lot of from me yet, but it's coming.
Oh yeah, bring it
on. So we have new episodes every Wednesday. You can get it on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. We just made an Instagram account so they can follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. And that's DND, so the letter N, DND Last Refuge, and then our website is dndlastrefuge.com. So Twitter, Instagram, I think we're on Facebook too, and then the website too.
It's a really fun podcast for you D&D people who may be listening to this. It's definitely good for the drives. It's cool stuff. I love that it's in podcast form too, right? Because that's how I've taken in so much of it, right? Even Critical Role, most of it I listened to while I was moving last time, right? And it's great. It's great. I love having it. How high have you guys leveled in that? Where did you start and where are you at?
We started at 1 and we're at 3.
Cool. Okay. Cool.
He's doing it based on events that happen.
Yeah, right.
Rather than XP, which is both cool and frustrating because 3 is still just there. But we've got a couple the sneak bonus and stuff because I'm a rogue in that too. So the sneak bonus and stuff is finally getting good. So we've got some cool stuff there.
Awesome. I guess that's worth pointing out, right? For anyone who cares about the technicalities and the mechanics of things, we have a lot of homebrew elements going on, and we're starting at 5th level, which is high. It's not super high, right? But it's the second tier of play. I think we all wanted to come in with some big guns and be able to really kick some ass and do some formidable things, which we obviously have not gotten into yet, but slow burn. And so, yeah, cool. That's awesome. That is very awesome. I guess as you guys are here, feel free to just poke around on this map that I put you on and take a look at these are the NPCs in play, right? as far as who you might want to engage with in the upcoming scene. But yeah, awesome, cool.
So yeah, let's should we talk a little bit about like as we get into battle, we'll see that this is, there's house rules going to be at play. Like,
oh yeah,
we're going to have fun with this
and
thing.
I have a lot of house rules. Yeah.
So like, Rich can, I don't know. There'll be things definitely where like, we've got certain like cantrips and stuff for where we come from in this world. So this is a bit of a homebrew game, but it'll stick pretty damn close to the like, Rich is a rules guy. So although we have like some stuff, the game has been balanced out for anything that we've changed.
As any of like my long-term D&D compatriots will tell you, like I came from a very strategic background. We had like the 10-foot by 4-foot table in my friend's basement and had lead melting pots and bought molds to cast our own miniatures because we didn't have enough. We needed like hundreds for the combat that we did.
I love that.
I'm like super granular, but I love a lot of the classic old school rules. So things like opportunity attacks. I love the idea that, hey, if you have acrobatics, you can make a tumbling check and try to avoid the opportunity attack. It might still hit you, but I like it because it makes it that much. It incentivizes people to try to do it, to get away, and then I get to try to attack them, and then fun things happen, right? Conflict. It's great. So, but yeah, we did a lot of things. Abrea's got a lot of little moving pieces, to be sure. The 3 like main regions where your character originates from all they act as sort of a second background for 5th edition, right? That was a thing that like all you guys looked through when you made your characters and stuff, and you have traits from where you come from. If you're raised in the dynasties, you're going to be very different than if you're raised in the citadels. And if you come from the Woodlands, you have like the skills to endure this lifestyle of rough living where you could be captured and sold into slavery at any minute. So there's a lot of little nuances going on, and I like a game where the players have a lot of options. So yeah.
So before we get going, I just wanted to talk about a little bit of the stuff we have got going on with Nerdrotic right now. Happy is coming to an end, but one of the actresses, Catherine Lefrere, is going to be joining us on our Happy finale breakdown tomorrow, which is really fun. So the season finale is going to be a pretty special show for us. And we've got, the TV season's in a little bit of weirdness right now, but Star Trek Discovery is got a couple more weeks left, so you can join us live after those episodes on Sundays. And you can just head over to nerdrotic.com or the YouTube Nerdrotic channel and subscribe over there to see everything you got. And if you're seeing this on Nerdrotic, head on over to Twitch /TPK_games and subscribe so that you don't miss an episode of this show. We didn't want to we wanted to keep the gaming and the TV recap stuff separate, so we didn't what's the word, water down the channel with stuff that wasn't similar, right? So this really is a partnership with Nerdrotic. It's just, it's its own thing so that it can stand separate from all the TV and movie recaps that we're doing.
Yeah, and we have some big aspirations, right? Like we want to build out and play some other games and play a lot of other D&D. And so, yeah, we're going to try to take this thing somewhere. So,
speaking of aspirations, have we talked to Alex about the spin-off show that he's planning for this campaign?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk, Alex.
Yeah.
So, Alex, do you want to explain what you're going to... So, your character, Ryeth, is a gourmand.
Yeah,
so what do you want to do with that?
He's a gourmand. He's from the Winterland, so there's all sorts of wild creatures and things that he's grown up, like, learning how to treat and cook. And so kind of the idea was to take, like, the actual stuff that we eat in this game and then have me cook it as an actual show.
It's like a fantasy cooking show.
Like a fantasy cooking show. Exactly.
I love it. And I just was watching a video last week from some guys called WebDM, and they're really great if you're into D&D stuff. And they were talking about how there is not nearly enough eating of monsters that occurs in modern day D&D. Okay, there should be more eating of monsters. When you kill these monsters, we should be cooking them on campfires and eating them at campsites, and it's great. And so I love this. And coming from a food background myself, I was like 10 years in wholesale produce and seafood. I love it, and I can't wait for us to start doing like substitutions for like basilisk meat, right? Like
no
roast
turtle soup.
cockatrice.
Turtle soup is not on the
please,
menu.
no turtle soup.
Off the menu.
What about like a turtle burger?
Turtle burger.
I mean, it
I only
sounds a
promised
little painful
two
for the
people,
turtles.
yeah. For real. Okay, so here we go. We come back. You guys are led into this broad chamber, right? The 5 of you I've put up here in the corner, and you can see the other tokens on the map are the people that are being escorted into the gambit with you, right? And they've kind of spread out and begun to separate around this room. Down in the pit, the Minotaur jumps in, and you see him walk over and start eyeing this large clay statue that's positioned in the side of it. And the rest of them kind of spread out, and you 5 like kind of find yourself lingering back here near the entrance.
So I want to go over and kind of skim this. This is the goblin, or not the goblin. This is the orc, or is this the orc? Yeah, that's the orc.
That's the orc.
Okay, so I kind of want to head over to the orc, and when I get there, I'm gonna be like, "Excuse me."
Okay, as you come walking over to the orc, he's standing next to the man who was wearing the red cloak, like the blonde-haired fellow, right? So you walk past this guy with his red cloak and his armor on, and you then step over, like in front of this big hulking orc.
That's me. You grabbed a hold of me and dragged me around.
Oh, that's you.
Woon.
All turtles look the same.
I'm so glad that the turtle made the first turtle mistake and I didn't do it, but good.
Yeah, it's okay when they do it.
Yeah. Okay, and so you come walking up to this orc, right? And you see the man with the blonde hair, like his eyes kind of like really fixate on you as you walk up. And the orc looks down at you kind of sneering.
Excuse me?
Well, have a look at you, Len.
Yeah, I'm new to the area, and I was wondering, are you by any chance half turtle?
And he like turns and looks at the guy in the red cloak, and it's just like, and he turns and looks back at you like chuckling. Turtle, is that what you call yourselves in?
Well, it's what I am. I was just wondering, green. Is this a faux pas of some sort?
He says, I'm full-blooded orc.
Oh, I see.
I'm a son of Chimerion. I'm as much orc as you'll ever meet, Turtle. You know how to fight with that shell of yours strapped on your back?
Yeah, it's, it helps to guard against projectiles and sharp, pointy things. And, I've got another shield. They've took it from me. I don't know exactly where it is right now, but,
I understand where you're getting at, then, friend. So after I rip your head off, I should keep your shell and use it as a shield?
Well, no,
that sounds like a right good idea, huh?
I was thinking more we could, team up against these weaker, smaller, less green people. Maybe.
Can you fight?
Yeah, no, I'm, yes. Should I roll a deception check of some sort?
Says you don't even know what a bloody orc is. Yeah, roll, please, roll if you'd like to, certainly.
This is gonna be great. 5.
Oh.
He just like shakes his head like, you even believe this pitiful sword is supposed to be coming in here as some kind of opponent for us? And so the human next to you now speaks for the first time like, well, he is rather exotic. Even if he does no better than to die a miserable screaming death,
The unique nature of his makeup should at least entertain the masses, don't you think, sir?
He like says back to the orc, like,
You do not seem to stand a particularly good chance, Turtle.
Oh, that's why I was wondering if, like I can help you guys in some way. I'm Poe, by the way.
My name is Alton Ducat.
Alton.
My father was the General Ducat, recently assassinated by revolutionaries in the city of Nietzsche in the Sapphire Dynasty. Certainly,
yes.
You've heard my name.
Oh, I'm not from I'm from far away. I don't know. I haven't seen the same things as most people.
He seems like furious when you can't like recognize him. You see him like clenching his teeth and like shaking. He starts like turning like red in the face, like, and he just kind of like turns and storms off, like, God damn. He's cursing to himself, like, be damned, I can't even. Nobody knows why I'm here. It's just. like staggers like stalking off over this way.
Insulting the masses. I guess I kind of like look over at Woon and just kind of backpedal slightly and then bump into whoever this is here behind me. Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
Hold on one second. As you like bump into her, let's just stats back. What do the rest of you guys want to do?
I'm assuming that I recognize Tone from his attire.
Absolutely.
And his fake tan.
Yes.
So, and he has not changed clothes, correct?
Absolutely not. He is
no other options.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go up to him and I don't know where he is on here.
Right here.
I can't see your ping. Oh, okay.
The rainbow.
Yeah.
So I will go up to him and I will introduce myself as Thinnea Hollow Whisper.
That name means nothing to me, but pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm a little distracted because at this time I'm sort of like eyeing the garb that she's in and sort of internally questioning what the utility of it is. But I try to, keep a poker face going at the same time.
So when I'll extend my hand to him, and I will grab his right hand, and I'll look at it, and I'll say, I believe this belongs to me.
Oh, that's you! Okay. Ooh, all right. I was going to play a little bit of a guessing game going around to these other noble-looking people around, but you sought me out. Hey, you know what? I'm ready to make a great partnership out of this. You know what? We're gonna make it out of this alive. We're gonna be best of friends by the end of this. I've already got a good feeling.
And while he's talking, I'm gonna like turn around and start walking away from him, towards the orc and the turtle.
Okay.
I'm going. I guess I sort of like run after her, sort of not understanding what my duties essentially mean at this point.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
As you guys are walking away, Ryeth and Shael, like you're standing here together. What do you guys want to do?
This is the water down here.
Yeah, there's a pool
yeah.
of water. And
I'm
so
gonna
this
go
woman with
to
the white hair is here. Yep, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to here and start drinking from the water. Like
Okay.
not like with a bowl or anything, just like turtlenecking down into the water.
Yep.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
Excellent.
You're copying me with the
Yeah,
turtleneck?
yeah. I'm just like I feel like socially out of place. So I just like I don't know what to do. The only other two people who talked to me like went to go talk to some scary people. So I'm gonna stick with you and just kind of like pretend like I know what's going on.
Okay. As you guys are like drinking, you see this woman here to your left, the one underneath you. She turns and like looks at you, and you can see she's got this white hair and this very sort of pale, like almost alabaster skin. These fine, like very fine clothes that she's wearing, fine like lavender leather armor and like these like leather pants and like high boots, knife at her side, and she like turns and looks over at you. And Ryeth, you can like see like her hair is almost like moving like by the wind, in this strange, very like unnatural way. And she's just like, What are you two doing?
Well, I'm getting a drink. This guy's a freak. I don't know.
I don't know. I just thought I'm scared. I'm out of place.
I can see that. Were they starving you in the cells?
I mean, I had only been there a little while. You get a little bit of lettuce. It's never good lettuce, but it's like, oh, been out for the day. Brown a little bit.
She says, my name is Sarah. I would say I'm pleased to meet you, but this is all rather overwhelming. You realize, like, she's also one of the volunteers, right? Like, she's wearing, like, this very nice clothes and has this weaponry on her already, and so she's just eyeing the two of you, like, curiously as you stand there drinking. And then the other woman behind you, sorry, here we go. She, like, steps over, and so this woman looks like much more wild and ragged. She's got like this breastplate on, long sword at her belt, this big round shield strapped to her back. And she like taps you on the back shell, on your shell. Dunk, 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 dunk.
Yash! I don't turn my body around. I just, again, turtlenecking around like.
And she's just like, what are you? I have never seen your kind before.
Well, that is a good question. What are you? We're all just people here. Why you gotta
I am human
come at
being.
me?
I am of the Abrea. You are walking turtle man. There are two of you. I
Turtle! It is not turtle! I do not understand the issue with you people.
You shouldn't have dropped the T-bomb, buddy.
Ryeth, you see the first one, Sarah, the woman with the white hair. She's just like watching you particularly, as Gita's like talking, and she says the other one with the shield like says to you, Shael, like, Turtle, there are many of you. Where are you from?
There were many of us, but I don't know. I haven't been to where I'm from in quite a long time. So, I'm from the Bronze, from Rome's hidden fortress. I'm not going to tell you where it's at because I don't know. But
She's just like, her eyes like go wide when you speak the name of Rome, and like she glances like upwards around, like, you are so brazen. You speak the name of the enemy when we stand in the city of the Green Dynasts.
I mean, they're already trying to kill me.
You are bold. Yes. Yes. Well, I hope I do not have to kill you, Turtle. You are strange and different. Very well. And she just like turns and kind of casually like walks away from you guys. While the other one watches. Okay, so like back to Edgar. Boom. Edgar, you like have stepped back at this point from Wound, from the orc, and you like bump into this woman who's like standing here behind you, right? And she shoves you off of her forcefully. Get the hell off of me! What the hell do you think you're doing? Get out of my space!
Do I like fall down or just kind of get pushed?
No. She's just like pushing you, right? Like pushing, like she takes a step back and she pushes you away, like when you bump into her, right?
Oh, sorry. I feels like everything is going wrong today.
I thought he was the only one. How many of you things are there?
Things? Oh.
She's like pointing across the room, and you like follow her finger and see Shal standing by the pool.
Yeah. I think we're the last. I thought I was the last, but I met him earlier today. He left. I don't know. Anyway, I think there's two of us.
Well, I guess that's better than one. Won't be many of you in a couple of days.
My name is Poe. I was hoping maybe you could help me avoid that problem. In fact,
do you know where you are, Poe?
No.
Do you know what's happening to us?
No. I know. I feel so in over my head right now. I'm not from here. I don't even know what's going on.
She like glances over at the other one. Well, you should ask him. He's been through some shit. Never expected Anyway.
I would love to talk to him. We haven't had a moment alone for me to actually do that, and I don't know why I'm telling you this. I don't know anyone here. I don't know what is going. I don't know even where I am at this point.
I don't think it matters. We're all gonna die, Poe. She says I could help you, but what's the point even of any of it?
Well, not dying is a point that I've been taking from all of this.
Do you realize where we're going? We're about to go into the death games of the god of illusions and deceit, manipulation. They spend literally lifetimes. That fucking psychopath who put this fucking rune on our goddamn necks. It's all he does. It's his whole function of say his name. Don't give him the respect. Do you know what that thing is? How old it is? Where it comes from?
No, where does it come from?
Well, that part I don't even know either, but she says he's powerful. He's as powerful as you get in this world without being a dragon. He's a monster. And his only function is to create this. To create interesting ways for us to die so that the people can cheer and scream and throw their gold.
Have you seen one of these games before?
I've heard about them long enough. I'm from the Onyx Dynasty, she says. They don't do the same thing there. It's different.
Do you know how many people are involved in this thing? Like how many people do we have to survive?
From what I understand, this is the second week. We are 14 as I counted. I believe there's already a dozen that went in last week. Something like another dozen, 15 next week and the week after. Could like be 60 of us, 100.
60. Oof, that's a lot of people to survive longer than.
She says the rumors are that some of them never leave. They find some cave and fester down and spend the rest of their stinking, miserable lives living in this hellhole, killing us when new blood comes in. That's what I've heard, at least.
But they can see through our eyes, right? That's what that's what they did to us yesterday or earlier today.
They have all kinds of fucked up magic that they use to watch us die. The birds can watch for them. Magical sensors in the air that we can't see, but yes.
What's your name again?
My name is Thesk. She says Chiron Thesk.
Thesk. You're the first person who's actually had a conversation with me. It's kind of nice.
We're going to be dead in a few days, so we might as well have as many conversations as we can now.
Well, is there any way we can work together in this thing? Try to avoid that dying?
I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to kill anybody else. At least too many already.
Well, I don't know. Think on it. I'll try to get a message to you, and maybe we can figure out how to at least survive this thing.
All right, Poe. If I see you, I'll try not to kill you. I can give you that.
Vice versa. And then I kind of just hang my head and walk back toward, Shell.
You're like running from Thinnea and
Yeah, going around the other side. Oh, I think we lost your audio, Rich.
Sorry.
Back.
You come walking up to the orc, Ton and Thinnea, Woon. And so he, as he sees you coming, his eyes lock with yours, Thinnea, and he, steps up well, I didn't expect to see any of your ilk around here.
And I will say, Chimerian has sent me for a great task that I would like your help with.
He tilts his head a little bit well, Mrs. Chimerian ain't sent me, but I'll serve him just as well. He says, I too have a great task to perform here. And it ain't killing these witless cowards. That one can't even fight. And he like points at Edgar.
I'll grab his arm as he points at him, and I'll lower his arm and I'll say, we unfortunately need him.
Well, what's this we then? He says, I know your family, Hollow Whisper. I know you're noble born, and they say you're as devoted as it gets, but I have a job to do. And I'm not looking to put you in the dirt. I just hope you don't get in my way. What do you want from me?
Simply to keep the turtles safe.
I don't know why I would do that. I won't go hunting you, but though, well, that'd be quite a trophy to walk out with. One of them shells, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That symbol... Ooh, I froze. That symbol on your forehead, is that no reason to help?
Says, I've slain countless in name of my lord. Chimerion gave me a life where I would have grown up in shit and dirt, fighting for every last little scrap of meat in the tribe in the woods. He says, I live good. I serve him with all my will. He says, and if I can find the axe of Kirk Fellhand in this place, well, I'll do him a good service there. But I've no mind for what them things are.
Well, Chimerian wants them alive. You don't necessarily have to protect them.
Look at this one, then. What's this Chimerian next to you? And he gestures at you, Ton. Is that you in there, my lord?
You're too kind. No, I do have a radiant glow about me, but I resemble no such dragon, sir. Let me just say, by the way, orcs get the worst connotation to them. Let me just say, I've been all around Abrea, and I have run into the nicest orcs, yourself included. And I love the fact that we'll be able to, at least look out for each other in such the great blood sport that we're about to encounter.
I'm gonna mutter under my breath, seriously, this guy?
He looks between the two of you and he's like, well, you two are a right pair, huh? You're gonna talk them to death and she's gonna dance on their corpses with that pretty dress, eh?
That's a plan. Yep, that's a good plan.
Can I, while he's talking to Tone, can I sneak behind him and put one of my daggers to his back?
You definitely can't sneak behind him. He's watching the two of you, right? His eye contact is moving from one to the other to the other. You can try to real quick put a dagger on him without seeing with the sleight of hand. You want to try to do that? Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
Roll it up. 10. Not on him. So you snap the knife out, or you go slowly as though you're just gonna reach up nicely, and he just reaches out and grabs your wrist quickly, and he doesn't try to hurt you or anything, but he sees the knife and he's like, you'll have to be quicker than that to pull one off on old wound lady.
And then I'll pull out my sword and hold it up at the other end. So
I did not think we were gonna get to a fight right now.
So I'll make a sleight of hit. Should I make a sleight of hand check as well?
Oh, sure. If you just want to do it without him seeing, yeah, go for it. You guys are
22.
Oh my god.
Yes.
So as he lets go of Thinea's wrist, he turns at the point of Ton's sword, which he snatched up from the rack as he walked over, is at this orc's neck, and he looks down at you well, looks like you got a little used to you after all, elf meat. He says, maybe not Chimerian, but you'll do.
You just have to remember that there's two of us.
And so he lifts his finger up and just gently starts trying to move the sword away from his throat. Do you let him?
I'll let him.
Yeah, so he moves his sword and he smiles all right, you got my attention then, Lady Hollow Whisper, you and your elf. He says, I won't come hunting for your turtles, or for you for that matter, but don't get in my way. He says, Kirk Fellhand was one of the greatest barbarians that ever lived, and he carried the Black Axe of Doom. He says,
He walked in these gangs 12 years past, signed up for the Gambit as a damn volunteer, because he was a legend and a hero. And I'm going in after him. He ain't never walked out, and nobody ain't sure whether he died or not. But that axe is in there, and I'm going to find it. So if you promise you won't get in my way, if you give me word on Kurg or his axe, I'll be sure your turtles don't die. If not by my hand, then by nobody's. Help me find the axe.
What did you say?
He said, help me find the axe. Make Woon a legend.
I'll glance slightly at Tone to see if he knows anything about this sword or if he has any reaction to what's being asked of us.
I will just let's see. I probably do not
You guys have
know what
history?
he's.
Do either of you have history?
Not really. I can make a history check though.
Yeah, roll an untrained history check anyway, because you're both like from around here.
7.
7. Yeah, you don't know the name.
I'll
You
try
haven't-
to roll for it.
Nope. You guys.
Okay, there we go.
20.
That's a 20.
So yeah, Thinnea, you know the name Kurg Fellhand when he says it. Kurg was essentially like this orc barbarian who like raised up a horde and like brought the horde to Chimerion, to Glimmerwood, which is like the name of the capital, and essentially was like he kneeled. He like raised up this fucking horde of orcs and goblins out in the wilds and brought them to Chimerion and kneeled. Like, here is my axe, put me to work. And he was like a legend, right, from about a decade ago. And you remember the story, like, oh yeah, he went into the Gambit and like nobody's ever sure what happened to him. Like, you remember hearing stories of those who watched, and there was some terrible battle, and there was like fire and magic and destruction, but Kurg didn't come out alive, and nobody's entirely sure if he died or not.
So, yeah, then I think I'll tell him we'll help in whatever way we can.
And so he nods at you like, all right then. He says, you see Kurg or word of his axe, you get it to me. He says, and I'll promise you I won't go hunting for you and your turtles. He says, let's see if we can't all get out of this thing with what we want then. By Chimerion's will.
And I'll nod to him and try once again to head towards the turtles.
Okay. Hey, Ryeth.
Yes.
So you're like standing here as Shael is talking to the like woman with the armor behind, and the lady with the white hair, Sarah, is just like watching you the whole time, like very like intently. Yeah.
Can I try to make like myself look like a fool by like tumbling into the water that I'm drinking from with my mouth?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Is that an so since I'm trying to do this, is this deception or acrobatics?
Whichever one you want. Deception or performance, whichever one you want.
I prefer deception.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, 17. So you like roll tumbling like an idiot and like splash into the water, and like she like hops down off the edge of this thing she was on, and it's like looking at you in there like, and she just like shakes her head as you do, and then like begins walking off.
Cool. Perfect.
Yep.
You really know how to make an impression on the ladies?
Yeah, Valerian always said that, man. He's just such an honest guy, honest, forthright. Valerian, you'd love him. He's my mentor.
Edgar, I'm sorry, Poe, you come walking up just as Ryeth goes like tumbling into the pool of water, and the woman with the white hair like walks away, kind of shaking her head like, this idiot. And yeah, these two guys are standing here.
I'm gonna look up and be like, "Oh man, that whole thing really, really hurt. Do you have? Can you help me? Like, I'm pain, man."
Yeah, I hold on, and I start muttering to my God, I've just met this guy. He annoys me, but nobody should be in pain for too long. And And then I kind of look around at the group and I'm like, hey, how's everyone? That spike thing really hurt us. How are you all doing?
Yeah, it's a little painful. I'll admit to that. Even though my veneer might have been showing otherwise, I'll admit I'm a bit worse for the wear as we approach this grave situation.
I don't know about her, but we all seem to be grouped into this whole situation together. So before we, get to know you or whatever, I cast Mass Healing Word to the group.
Yay!
Oh, geez, this guy is useful.
So I add 1 so it's 8 healing points.
Nice.
Cool.
Before we got to the turtles, I just want to say to Tone, it looks like you're going to be useful. And just our only goal is to befriend and protect the turtles.
But I'm fine with that. I spent the night getting to know some of these in the lovely dungeons that served as our accommodations. But the fact of the matter is, the more people we have in a group, the more attention we might drive to ourselves. And if the primary goal is for the two of us to get out of here alive, just know that at some point we may have to jettison off the shell cargo, if you get what I'm saying.
The turtles also must come out alive.
Okay. You're lucky that I treasure my hands so much.
And I will lean in to whisper to him, and I'll say, but I don't care about the orc. And then that's when I'll move over towards the turtles.
Okay.
So how are you guys? My migraine just went away instantly. How about you guys? That was
Oh yeah, man, I feel much better. Thank you so much.
I'm like pulling Ryeth out of the water by his collar.
You like stand him back down. You can see like some of the others have like spread out around the room now. This chick Kyranthesk seems to just be drinking. There's like a rack of wine on this fucking wall, and she started just like drinking heavily.
I love
the Minotaur
her.
is in the pit, and it's like eyeing this like clay statue and like beginning to like walk around in circles. Like looks
Are you
like
gonna
he's not
mate
sure.
with it, or are you gonna fight it?
I'm gonna yell encouragingly, aim for your target, and the strike shall be the truest.
And so the Minotaur like turns and looks up at you guys, and it's just like it just like growls and like shakes its head, and then it like turns and raises its axe and smashes it into this fucking clay statue, and you see the statue like blast a blow down on top of them, and the two of them begin like fighting in this pit as the like clay statue animates, and they start circling around, and the Minotaur's like pounding at it with this huge battle axe, and the clay thing is like moving around in circles, like just pounding into this guy with his fists. And at this point you see the human man Alton and the orc Wound have come to the edge of the pit, as have this funky looking hobgoblin and the dwarf, who are watching closely, and this crazy looking lady with the shield.
I don't know.
The rest seem to be just doing their thing. Can you what? Yes.
Can I reach into my bag and pour a glass of wine for myself in the bag, and then bring the glass of wine out of the bag?
Yeah, sure you can. Sure.
Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll sit on the edge of the fountain and just spectate.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know about you guys, but my first goal is to not get near that guy.
And I'll say, should we try to make ourselves look less threatening?
That would.
I'm gonna find a shield.
I'm gonna slowly process around the pit until I end up next to this homely looking individual.
Okay, and so as you come walking up to this guy, right? This guy is really fucking weird looking, and you realize like he's a hobgoblin, but he has this strange looking little beak, and he's wearing like these sort of stained, like looked like they were blue, but that they're like covered in blood and grime and soot. His kind of robes underneath him, and he has a couple of these ornaments still on him, dangled on him through his whole like time as a prisoner. And as you come walking over, he like turns and looks up at you and literally like takes 2 steps back, and you hear his voice like, I know you. You're good heart. Damn good heart.
I suppose my reputation precedes me. I haven't had the pleasure of knowing who you are.
I am Zoltur.
Zoltur, what an exotic name, and what I say, it seems like we have the same sense of style, if you get what I'm talking about. And I'll sort of like hold up my tattered end of the robe to sort of like compare it against his.
His look a little more haggard.
So it's a compliment, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he like looks down and like he nods a little bit and then looks back up at you like and tilts his head like, I knew Darius. I fought with him, against him, with him. He always told me if I lived long enough and continued to serve the dragons, I would be betrayed by them. He was right.
So, what brings you here?
Look. I'm a prisoner, like you. I've spent my life in supplication to Virago. She sent us on a mission, slaving, raiding, and we were captured by guards here. Emerald guards, green cloaks. And now I'm gonna die, far from my home and my queen and my monastery. And she doesn't give a damn shit of it.
Who's to say you're going to?
Was a smart man.
Well, who's to say you're going to die far away from your home? Now, don't let me make any judgmental opinions here, but that seems like a very defeatist attitude. I obviously knew Darius. Darius raised me, and Darius would not have that attitude when the deck is stacked against you, especially with those that you may know. And look, give you a little something on the DL here. There's a bit of a contingency growing, much against my will. And look, we know of each other. We have connections. I'm more than happy to look out for a fellow Dynasty warrior and see if we can get out of here alive together.
He just says, yes. He says, I did not recognize you until I looked straight into your eyes. You were younger when I saw you last, but I could not forget the face of you and your grandfather. I will fight with you. I will fight by your side. We will kill many of them before they take us into the ground, good heart.
Mm-hmm.
That one we start with. And he points at the orc. I will spill his guts into the dirt and feast on his heart.
Here's a hint, though. If you happen to find a big old axe, that's a better way to get to him, get on his good side, than just going after him. It's to kind of kill him with kindness instead of just killing him, just like a good piece of advice.
He says, that one seeks the axe. And he points at the minotaur in the pit.
That one seeks the axe, too?
They don't know what he is. But he is guardian of a place far from here. And he has come for the axe. He says if the orc seeks it too, they will destroy each other. Perhaps we can take it and leave with it and kill all the others. Fortune has smiled on us, good heart.
Absolutely, Zoltur.
It's like looking at you with like this crazed intensity in his eyes, like, yes, things are coming together now for us. Says first we kill the orc. First we get the axe first, the axe. Yes, we'll get the axe.
Absolutely. We're going for the axe. That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to go for the axe.
Then we'll kill the minotaur, and then we'll kill all the rest of them.
Okay, that's a good plan. Now look, I'm a bit slow, so if you want to just like get out to a head start and go for the axe, I'm all for it. You know, I've got a little bit of baggage that I gotta deal with, but I'll meet you there. We'll meet up. We'll have a little bit of a rendezvous. We'll figure out what to do next. We'll kill that blasted orc and that janky ass minotaur, and then we're gonna get out of here together. We're gonna do Darius proud, Zolter. It's gonna happen. That's my good heart guarantee. Okay.
He like nods at you like, we're very, very lucky to have found each other.
Oh yeah.
Says, I will take good care of you. It will get cold at night, and we will be able to keep warm if we are too. We will.
Yep.
We'll always have eyes open and watching. They will never get past us.
Yes, we need eyes open, especially when we're spooning at night together. Really need to be ever vigilant.
Yes. The small spoon keeps the eyes open. The big spoon will be staring at the back of the head. So we will rotate. We will roll from one to so. And he starts like showing you with his hands.
Wow, you really thought out this nighttime maneuvers, Zolter.
He's been in more than one spoon situation before.
Cold nights in the deserts. He says, many cold nights in the deserts.
Well, look, here's the thing, Zolter. Groups of people, factions, they draw attention to each other, and we have such suspicious people about. Can we come up with some sort of, I don't know, secret incommunicado system to look at each other and almost come across as secret allies? I feel like if we both knew that we came from the same area, we get targeted almost immediately. Admittedly, some of these people are much more bigger and powerful than the two of us combined.
I will stroke my tough nut. And he like grabs it and like touches it like he's like, for you.
That's fine. I'll take my katana and I'll do like this. I'll pretend to clean it just over and over and over again. And that'll be my signal to you.
Yes, polish the sword.
It works well for me as well because I like how this feels on my head. he's like yanking the top out of his head.
Yeah. We all much scratch our inner itch.
Good. Excellent. We should not be seen with each other right now.
Of course not. No.
Let's separate and find each other again later when they're not looking.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we'll have a secret rendezvous.
So, since I can read lips, did I understand this whole conversation?
Yeah, so you're really strained because he's got like a beak, right? He's got this strange fucked up mouth, but like it takes you a second, right? You lose a couple of the initial words. Like you don't catch that initial beat of like I knew Darius, but you're able to like after watching him for a few moments, like, okay, I get this. I see what he's doing. And so yeah, you get like, 80% of that conversation, the back end of it. Yeah.
I will laugh out loud when the spoon conversation happens, as I'm still sitting, sipping my glass of wine.
And I hear that, so I sort of shoot Thinnea a look before getting back into said conversation.
And I'll look elsewhere, so it looks like I'm not looking at him.
I feel you, many looks. And so, okay, Mike, as you're standing there, all of a sudden the goblin standing over here, like you see him start like stoking up this stove. And he takes a pair of tongs and he starts like carrying coals from this hopper's ear and loading up the stove. And yeah, he's like lighting a fire here in this stove, if that's relevant. What are the rest of you guys doing? You three, you're still sitting here by the pool.
I want to go like so. There's like weapons and stuff everywhere.
Yeah, there's like racks of weapons along the walls, shields. There's a ton of clothes. You notice too. There's all these clothes all over the place, like hanging from like posts on the pillars.
What about like up north where it looks like there might be like pouches of things, perhaps?
Yeah, as you start like looking up north, you see that like the goblin is fucking around over by the table, and as you come over here, there's all kinds of like herbs and plants and like dried up roots of things, and like you start watching this goblin as you like walk over, and it looks to you like he's got like a mortar and pestle out, and he's starting to like grind up like one of these plants after he's done like stoking up the stove. And so you've been from the wilderness enough that like you recognize like, oh yeah, like he's some kind of like alchemist or something, right? Like he's about to start like brewing shit up with these ingredients.
Cool. Like, hey, how's it going? What are you doing over there?
And so he like turns as you come walking over, and he like winces, he flinches a little bit and like pulls down and recoils, like he's shaking a little bit, like, cooking.
Oh, I really love to cook too. Maybe we could talk about it. What are you working on?
I make things for not dying game.
I think I'm in the game, and
You
I
are.
don't want to die. Could I have some?
You know cook potions? You cook potions like me?
Usually wild game. That's more my aim.
No, this game, not wild.
No, I don't really know how. That's why I'm asking you for some.
They'll teach you how. Take too long.
Yeah, no, I don't want to
They
learn.
beat
No,
me
that's
with sticks.
yeah. Could
Much
you just,
beating to learn how to do this.
okay. Could you just like give me some when you're done, maybe?
What you give me?
And
I make things from nothing. You make what?
I could
You
like.
make poop and robe when they kill you. That's what.
Yeah, I could, is that what you want? You like rope poop?
I don't want your poop. Need help. I'm goblin. They kill me quickly.
Oh, I can help you.
Keep me alive.
Yeah, I'll keep you alive. Are you a
feed
good
you
person?
We're not going to be able to kill anybody.
Yeah, I know, we're making so many friends.
You know what?
Each
People, the
potion
dead men
you
don't tell. Dead men tell no tales.
welcome to the Survivor D&D game, Alan.
Yeah, no.
So he's like looking at you like,
You help keep me alive. I feed you potions.
You know, there's this really smart turtle over there. I'm gonna go talk to him about it.
What is
And
those
see,
things?
like- What?
What is those things?
Oh, they're turtles. They're like walking versions of the littler
They
turtles.
talk with words?
Don't say turtle. Whatever you do, don't say turtle.
They don't
yeah,
like turtles? They talk with words.
They talk with words. They don't like turtle. Yeah, you're smart. I mean, I
Yeah.
should have known from the potion.
Potions.
Yeah.
They beat me many times, make me smart.
Do you
Long
perhaps?
years of beating to get so smart.
Oh man.
Got too
Who beat
smart,
you?
though.
Maybe I can help you get them.
Green cloaks. Nobles. That one.
he like turns and like points at Thinnea. She no beat me. She is noble.
She did beat you or didn't beat?
Oh, no, different family. I'm Goblin House Goblin. They raise me, beat me, make me make potions, scrolls. I sell for house. I get robbed. They throw me in pen. Put me in game. 'Cause I get robbed. I do no thing. I get robbed. They throw me in. Say I know watch close well enough. It's 'cause I'm too smart. Right?
Yeah. If
You
that's
smart
what
too. You smart guy.
no,
I see what I see.
I'm lucky. I'm not very clever. I'm
We
just
real lucky. You find potion goblin. We dig big hole, hide under dirt. I feed you potions. You keep me alive.
That's not really going to be my strategy, but
Well,
I
no
could,
potions
like-
then.
I could like turn you invisible for a little bit if you give me a potion.
Oh,
But don't tell anyone that I can do stuff like that.
You don't tell anyone neither. You tell me.
No,
you
I'm
tell
not telling
people
anyone.
already.
Well,
Or
you're the
tell
only. I only told you not to tell anyone. Just like you don't say turtle.
Wait, what you
No.
tell me?
God.
You know what? Never
Wait,
mind.
disability.
I'm just gonna walk around. I'm
This
gonna
is your
walk
just
away.
desserts.
I walk away. I picked
I
the
see you
worst
later,
NPC
smart
to
guy.
talk to.
You find me
Goblins.
hole in dirt.
He's like, as you're walking away, like you walk past like this woman again is over here. You see like Sarah like eyeing you as you walk past her.
I'm gonna like trip over my own feet.
And so like at this point the Minotaur is finished fighting
Nice.
this thing in the bottom, and he like climbs himself, he pulls himself up off the ledge, and you see him like eye the orc viciously and spit on the ground as he like walks past him and comes over here for a drink. And the statue, apparently none the worse for wear, like steps back into this original position that it was in and like refocuses. So yeah, what do we got? You guys tell me.
I feel
Can
like
I pick up? Sorry, go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I've done more than you have.
What do you got, Chow?
My search for a shield has brought me over towards Kieran, I think. And
Okay. So as you come walking over, you see her look up from across the table, and she's like well into her cups at this point, right? There's like a bottle empty next to her, and she's like pulling the cork out of like a second one as you come walking up, like, well, if there's one thing I didn't expect to see when I got thrown in goddamn chains and sold to Chimerion, it was you, Greythorn.
Well, I mean, you've looked worse. The change suited nice, I'm sure. I forgot how much of a drinker you were.
She says, well, I gotta make up for lost time.
What did what has brought you into this nonsensical scenario that we all seem to find ourselves caught in?
Honestly, it's probably the same shit that got you. I heard the rumors about you, about what you did. I thought you'd be dead already, or I'd never really thought you'd be dead. I thought you'd be chained up in Melistrix's temple, being bathed in acid every day until they melted the shell right off your back.
Well, I mean, that sounds like it would have sucked. I don't know that this is an upgrade, though.
Let's just say I ran into a similar problem. I never left the cities. They raised me up. They had made me make my pact. She says, and I just spent my days living my life. Charmed life it was. And then I went and I saw what we did, what we do, what they do. She says, it's not for me. And I told them they can all fuck right off to another world. I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And that was enough. That's all I had to say. Here I am.
Well, I honor your decision because obviously I feel for the way that you do on the matter. But
It was pretty stupid.
well, I mean, that's what you think, but you know, you can always be a better person than what they try to tell you you're born for. So here we are in a bullshit situation because we said that we wanted to be better. And, you know, we'll come out okay, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, me too. She's like tilts back the glass, like puts it down, like, yeah, I'm sure of it. We're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine. Everyone in here, we're all friends now, right? I already met you, buddy.
I mean,
yeah, real nice guy. I
don't know about everybody.
So I'm with you, you three, us three, to the end. We're amigos, musketeers.
I mean, I don't know how big my party has become. It seems as though I have more friends than I have counted for.
Don't believe anything any of these people tell you. Don't believe me. You're not stupid enough to sit here and believe me right now, are you? Sure, I could be telling you the truth. I also could be here specifically to kill you, and you know it, and I know it, and that means that we're just fucked anyway, because we can't actually work together, and we can't actually try to be any better, because we're just going to get knifed in the back, or the shell, or whatever.
That's where the shell comes in handy. Well, I hope that death doesn't have to be something that separates us from being friends in the end here. And I grab like one of the bottles off of the table, and but I think I need to go find a shield or something to help me in this nonsense, and you don't seem to have it.
Nope. I'll be no shield for you, Greythorn. Good luck, though. Good luck. I'll try not to kill you.
The same. The same to you.
She's like, nah. It's like, all right. Okay. So you're able to like walk over to one of the weapon racks and get a shield.
Yeah.
The Minotaur eyes you as you walk by. All right. So what do we got? What's up here?
Can I look for like a component pouch? Is
Yes.
that a feasible thing to do?
Yes, it is.
Because right now I'm just like a human, right?
I know.
Yeah, I'm just human.
You come over here and you start like looking around. There's actually like a big bundle of clothes hanging off this pillar. But as you like are digging around, you're able to find there's a couple of like pouches of like different components, and you start like gathering up the kinds of things that you'll need and putting them together in like one big empty sack as you go. And for that matter, the rest of you can like move around this room and like reacquire any weapons that you had. Edgar, your shield is in here. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
So I move next to Thinnea, or Edgar moves next to Thinnea, and he says, "So you're the only I haven't had a chance to. My name's Poe."
And I will say Thinnea, and I will offer him a drink from my cup.
Oh, thank you very much. I don't partake in the beverage, but I was wondering, what people seem to show you some deference in here. Why exactly?
You haven't been around for very long, have you?
No, I'm very, very new to this area, as I'm sure people have noticed as of now.
My family's very important in this dynasty.
Then why would you even be here in this room with us? Why are you entering these horrible, horrible death games?
We always had viewing parties, and so as a child, I just thought that the mark on your neck was pretty cool. So it's always been my dream to take part in them.
Well, is there any chance that I can rely on your knowledge in the coming days? I feel like I'm all alone. There's this other turtle, but he keeps leaving every time I get near him. And really, we need to have a talk anyway. But you seem to be close to you seem to be close to my, I guess, allies as of now. And can I rely on you in these games?
In offering you a drink from my cup, I was already counting you as an ally.
Oh, I don't pick up on social cues as well as some.
We'll work on it.
Yes, that's the knowledge I was talking about. That is, at least I have a few people that I feel comfortable. Oh, hello, Shell, you said earlier? Or, I don't know, right? I heard it somewhere, I feel.
Hello. Don't mind me. You continue your conversation. I'm just here for some more water.
Well, I was just making sure that this wonderful young woman, Thinnea, would be of help to at least me. I don't know. What's your plan for this awful experience we're going through now?
Not die.
Yes, good plan. Maybe I can help with that. I hope. And Thinnea has offered to also be of aid in the coming days. Where did that young kid that keeps following you around go?
Oh, you mean my shadow?
Yes.
I think he was looking for a pouch of some sort. I don't know.
I think
looking
he
for his
likes
sack.
you.
As I come walking back after with like a sack around my belt now that you guys
Oh,
see.
you found your sack!
Oh, yeah! Well, it wasn't like my sack, but there were all these other sacks. I started combining sacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, putting them all together in one sack. And, yeah.
The master sack, as we would call it.
Yeah. But hey, by the way, how's it going, pretty lady? My name's Ryeth. What are you doing here?
I have always been a fan of the games, and I wanted to play.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds good. Anybody? So they said they're gonna kill us. I guess we're all gonna like fight together. Anyone got like a plan, or we're just gonna kind of?
I talked to this woman Thesk, and although I seem to have made an enemy of the orc and his friend,
Don't worry about that.
Oh, well, great, and we don't have to worry about Thesk either. She said she wouldn't kill us. Right to my face, I believe her 100%.
Not very wise, are you?
She had trusting. She had good. I could see the soul through her eyes. She seemed like a good. Like she doesn't want to be here any more than we do. I think we can rely on her to protect us, or at least not kill us actively.
There's like a 50-50 split in this room of people who want to be here and people who don't. So you got like a coin flip when you talk to people.
I'm gonna walk up to the group and say, "I'm sorry. Wasn't the plan not to look conspicuous and stand around in a big group? We just split apart and then came back together in the course of like 5 minutes."
And I'll say, you're absolutely right. There are tons of clothing racks around here. We must find you something to wear. And I'll grab his arm and I'll bring him over to one of the clothing racks. I'm assuming these are racks over here.
Walked right into that one, didn't you?
If you want to just give me control over Tone's token, or you can just attach him to my token. That's okay too.
Okay. There are many clothes of many styles. Most of them greens, but there's a few nice newer, like violet purple looking robes in there too, with gold trim.
I'm gonna do the just flicking through the hangers really quickly, and once in a while I'll stop and I'll hold it up to him.
Now look, I appreciate a good change of wardrobe as well as the next person, but I did not sign up here necessarily to have my life stripped away to get dressed up and paraded around by some noble woman. Look, I am Tone Goodheart, and I try to.
And while he's talking, I will grab his right hand again, and I'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not value this?" And I'll then continue flipping through the clothes.
Well, I'm sure this will impress my new boyfriend. I'm sure he'll love it.
That hottie, right? This bird beach.
And I will actually, I'm going to try to find something that is as close to what he's wearing as possible, just less tattered.
Yeah, there is definitely like some purple and gold that's like much newer. I mean, it's brand fucking new, right? It looks like really nice finery, good stuff. It's a nice like heavy made like purple robe with gold trim, pockets on the inside, nice like gold rope belt. Looks good. Looks nice.
And then I will nod contentedly to myself, and I will head back over to the rest of the group.
I'll sort of look a little dumbfounded at how that turned out, and I'll try to slip into a corner, see if I can change somewhere, I suppose.
Surreptitiously, yeah. There are guards like all around these outer pillars, right? But I didn't want to like confuse the screen. Anyway, you're able to find a place to change, to be sure, and you three guys are like standing there together by the pool, like still talking. Ultimately, these people all have begun milling around and fucking around. Some of them take different weapons. These two guys jump in the pit, Duke it and Woon, and start like sparring with each other. Duke it pulls his sword, and Woon pulls this like battle axe off, and they're dancing around. Ugat the goblin is like clicking away fervently up here in the top. The hobgoblin Zoltor like wanders around like talking to people and making them uncomfortable randomly. And like so the day wears on. Like if there's anything specific you guys would like to do, then feel free to.
I don't think we met the dwarf. I want to go talk to the dwarf.
Okay.
I'll go with him.
Yeah, let's go talk to the dwarf.
Okay, so you go walking over to like this guy over here, and as you see the dwarf, oops, hold on a second, I spelled his name wrong.
What?
When we get there, I want to say hello, friend, in Dwarvish, because I speak Dwarvish. Yay!
Yay!
Oh, damn. As you come walking up, you say hello, friend, in Dwarvish. And the woman with like the shield, the kind of like Viking looking lady, is standing there with him. And like she like looks up at you as you guys come up, and the dwarf looks up like when you speak in Dwarven, like he smiles, this big beaming smile, like, and responds to you in Dwarven, like, well met, strange one.
My friend here really wanted to meet you. He's been an admirer for a long time.
And the dwarf then like looks at you like, well, boy, well met. He's like speaking in common now, so you can both understand. Like, you've a meeting you wanted, then a meeting you have. I'm Olus Broadblade.
He's one of the ones that was on the coming in on their own. Oh, he's a prisoner. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What? I'm always curious to know what has brought people into this situation, especially because we're here in this really ridiculous situation. And I see that you're obviously not here on your own free will.
Captured, boy, captured. Says making trouble out on the edges of the wild. I'm a wanderer and a traveler. I gather my stories and I swing my blades, and that's what I do. I fight, and I fight well, and I earn good money at it. But can't win 'em all, can ya? He said, now this damnable place, this is not where I hope to end up, but sometimes you roll the dice, and they come up one.
Well, dice would be hard to roll a 1 unless it's only one die, and then that would be roll of the die. And...
He's got you there, man.
You roll one die more than once. You call them dice, for damn sakes. Jesus Christ, don't argue with the dwarf, boy.
Sorry. I can't help myself.
You started off on such a strong foot with the language and all of it, and now you corrected me. I'm not a dice man. I'm a sword. I'm a fighter. I just told you. The dice is much more of a hobby.
Sword. That's exactly what we've been looking for. There's a lot of swords in this room, but most of them are mean swords. And you seem like a much nicer sword. Powerful sword. You're great sword. Broad. Anyway,
He looks back at you like, grandson? He says to you.
More like long lost cousin that you didn't know, and you still don't know if you're happy that he's around.
The woman Gita who came up to you guys before, the like Viking lady who was asking like, what are you? She looks down at the dwarf and is like, I am beginning to think that these turtles are not very smart creatures. They seem to carry the intelligence of goblins or some such. And the guy,
I'm at least two steps smarter than a goblin.
No, you got it wrong, lady. He says they're ancient and dying off. I heard tales of your people before. I have. Never seen one in the flesh, so this is quite the opportunity to meet you. He says, what, are you looking for friends? I'll be your friend.
Oh, yes.
I don't like the way he said friend the second time.
No, I love how he said friend. We love friends. Friends are great. How about we send a message to you on the second day of the game, and we can rendezvous in a secret location. Do you know of any secret rendezvous spots? We can.
He says, I got bad news for you, grandson. He says, but ain't not one of us that's going into this place ever been there before, and it's a goddamn maze built by the goddamn god of illusions, and it changes every damnable year, and we're fucked right up the arse. He says, so send me a message and tell me where you are, and I'll desperate come to find you. But I don't know where the fuck we're even standing right now, for Christ's sake, let alone secret location.
Oh, I thought I was the only one who was lost. This is great. Now I know we're all lost, and everyone's just making me out to be the asshole.
The journey of life is one lost, boy. Sit and drink with any bard, and they'll tell you.
Oh, I don't
much.
partake of the, the beverage.
What the goddamn hell is wrong with this one? He says, looking at you.
More and more every time he talks, I've noticed.
Rita is just like, every time you tell me more things, I think you more pathetic. This is shameful. And she turns and walks away for the second time from you.
I don't.
We are not hitting it off with Gita, man. We are just not.
Odds are she's the one who murders us first.
I wouldn't put it past her. Maybe she thinks we're too pathetic and she won't even try.
Most likely.
That's what I'm going for.
That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. Olis, is it? We'll get word to you. Thank you for bearing with us. We're just, I'm new here, and
Christ.
and then I just walk away. Social cues and all.
At this point, this guy here, Alton, you see him climbing up the ladder, and he looks pretty battered and pummeled, and he ends up coming over to this table to get a drink, and wounds down in the pit are none of y'all gonna fight me then? He says, y'all cowards?
Yep.
A lot to you.
Shell's no coward.
I'll look at the Minotaur and I'll say, he called you a coward.
Oh.
Oh, did you not make a mistake now?
And Dogan then proceeds to jump in the pit and just fucking rush at Wound. And the two of them, next thing you know, are smashing these battle axes into each other in this ridiculous battle of the Titans, while this clay stone monolith just watches over them. And
I'll whisper to the group, good, they're weakening each other. We got a chance.
Good plan, Tone.
Can I walk back over to the goblin?
Yeah.
All right. How many potions does he have now?
So he's just, you see, he's got all these interesting things cooking and burbling on the top of the stove, and he lifts one thing and mixes another and lifts another thing, and then he takes a stick from one of the plants off the table and is stirring it, and it begins to change color, and he's lifts it up off the thing with the metal tongs and puts it on the table, and he's mixing it, and it starts to turn thick and red and syrupy. And nice. As you're watching him go through this, he turns and looks back at you you come back, smart guy.
All right. I'm gonna streamline this and make it a little quicker. I'm gonna use subtle spell as a bonus action so that no one can tell that I'm casting a spell. And I'm gonna cast suggestion. Mm-hmm. And tell him, you should give me all your potions and tell me what they do.
Okay. What's the save? Wisdom, right?
Ooh, is this a wise goblin?
Wow.
God tier. What's your DC, Ryeth? Is it 16?
If it's 16. Yeah.
Good God, man. Sorry.
No,
so
that's
you tell him, give me the potion, and he just looks up at you this first potion I make, no giveaway so soon. He says, I need one for drink for me for no dying to keep you alive and whole. He says, I die, no more potions. Potion goose dead. You don't want dead potion goose. I'm goblin, not really goose.
I'm going to cast suggestion again and say, I really think that you should give me that potion.
Do you subtle spell it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So close.
Almost.
It's like,
Oh.
All right, now Uga give you this potion, and then you help me in hide and hole.
and he like hands potion to you.
I'm gonna take the potion and walk away.
Okay.
He's like, "Hey, smart guy, I find you out there. Thanks, buddy.
You're my friend. He says to like the woman who you're walking past again, Sarah, as you're walking past her, and she's like, she's just watching you. She doesn't seem to like approach you or whatever. But he like says to her, the goblin says to her,
He friend. He my friend. Smart guy."
and so yeah, you have now an additional on top of the 2 potions each of you have. Actually, this is a great point. As we're sitting here, like guards come in, another like hobgoblin that's not as like fucked up looking as Zoltur, and he's got this green armor on, and he's got like all these like bags over his shoulder, and he comes to each of you and like hands you one of these bags. And I think each of you on your character sheet have game supplies. But it's that, and then in each one of the bags are 2 potions. There's a potion of greater healing and a potion of regular healing. All that's on your sheet already. And Ryeth, you can now have 2 regular healing potions.
Cool. I knew that goblin was good for something.
While all of this is happening, I am subtly trying to listen in or read the lips of anyone that Sarah is having a conversation with. Do I pick up anything from that?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So at one point, you see her talking with the other woman, Gita, and you catch her like essentially saying, the 2 of them exchanging with each other. They're like, we don't know like who else we're gonna work with. Like, I'll keep an eye out for you if you keep an eye out for me. And you see Sarah like explicitly say, she's like, yes. She's like, you know, as like I have made my vows to the skies and am a priestess of the wind, I promise you by like the eldritch powers that you have taken your vows to, I will like protect you. I will make sure you don't die as best I can.
Okay.
And Gita is just like, all right. Gita's just like, you know, I have a job to do, she says, and I'm going to do it. But I will be sure to like keep you in my thoughts and try to keep you safe. And so you could tell the 2 of them have made like some kind of, you know, relationship.
I'll relay this information to Tone whenever he comes back from changing.
Oh yeah, he's fully changed now. Other than that, Sarah is conspicuously like isolated throughout the entire day. Like she's not going around to people everywhere. Like Gita came and talked to her and that's it. Like you see others like kind of looking at her, but they seem like cautious and hesitant, and like nobody really is like looking to engage her. So yeah.
So guys, one last thing before any shit hits the fan. Do we try to befriend the Minotaur? I don't think any of us have really attempted that. He seems like a mean dude, but he could be a powerful ally if we can get him on our side.
Well, I had a plan when I had 1 friend, and then I had a plan when I had 3 friends. Now that I have like...
We're looking at like 25.
Sure. I don't really know. Scary.
Okay, I mean, you know, I guess we'll see how it goes.
Go hug him, see what happens.
He feels like someone who doesn't do a lot of planning beforehand. I feel like if we catch him in the perfect adrenaline rush out there, maybe we can get him on our side.
Yeah, you know, he just seems like a nice guy. I'm trying to make him over here. Like you know, the Minotaur. He just seems like such a nice guy, and he looks so lonely. Everyone's so scared of him. But I think he could, you know, just be looking for some love, some friendship from us.
As you guys like are talking about him, like the fight has finished between he and Woon, and like it seems like he got the edge on Woon. Like they just sparred for a bit or whatever, and they end up like separating, and he just grabs the edge of the pit and pulls himself out right next to you, and he's looking at you turtles like, which of you will fight me?
Oh, we know we're not. I'm not really a Shell.
I have never fought your kind before, and you might die very quickly. I would not be robbed of chance to cross swords with you.
Oh, we just, I just wanted to be your friend more than anything, and friends don't fight other friends often.
I only make friends with ones who fight me.
Oh, well then. Oh, you should meet my friend Shael. He loves making new friends.
This one is old and broken.
No, he's old and powerful.
Hold on, who are you calling old, you son of a... your mother was a cow?
Oh.
Like you say that, and he just goes like nuts and fucking like dives at you. Like roll initiative right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no!
Damn
it!
We're all rolling initiative, right?
I mean, I guess sure.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna do it.
Whoever wants
if you want
Yeah,
to, if you want to roll initiative, you know what I mean. I guess that's
I
the
feel
interesting
bad
thing.
for getting him
He doesn't
into
give a
this.
shit about anyone except Shael. Shael called his mother a cow, and he like explodes instantly. He just goes fucking berserk. Okay, you guys all go way before he does. Tone Goodheart, what are you doing?
I'm grabbing Thinnea, and then I'm gonna run to this column.
Oh God, okay. Thinnea, are you going with him?
I'm gonna fight him on it a little bit. Is that just a strength check against him?
I guess, yeah. Are
To
you
stay
gonna
where I am?
pull her, Tone? I guess that's the question. It's like a question between you two. Like you grab her and start pulling her, and she resists. Do you let go and run by yourself, or are you trying to take her with you?
I'm trying to. I mean, she's my meal ticket. I'm trying to take her with me out of the path of this
Okay,
literal
so
charging bull.
Make an opposed athletics check, and like Tone, you're trying to grapple her and pull her out of the way.
So what am I trying to make? I'm making athletics.
Athletics, yeah.
Ugh, not good. Not good.
And
Yeah,
9.
it's
She's
a 9.
up- pull away from you, right? So you don't have to run over here, in other words, Tone, but she won't come with you. Like you grab her and she won't move. So you still have your movement and can do what you want.
I'm still running.
Okay. You run.
She won't. If she
Thinnea-
won't go, I will.
And I'll tell
Okay.
him before he leaves. I told you we have to protect the turtles.
Okay. Thinnea, what's your move? You do know, I'll put this out there. Like, you know, nobody's getting killed in this room, right? There's guards everywhere. You guys are all too important. Like, but I just want to like put that out there as like knowledge Thinnea would have. Like, they're not going to let the Minotaur kill this guy. But it's your turn. What do you want to do?
I'm not going to do anything yet. I'm going to stay where I am.
When I see him like getting ready to charge, can I like lightsaber summon my sword? You muted yourself again.
Yeah, as he's charging, you can summon your sword. Yes, your
Yeah,
sword's in.
Okay.
So, I call out to my god, Deimos, or one of my gods, Deimos, and I say, Deimos, hold him, and I cast Hold Person on the Minotaur.
Oh well, that's no fun.
Fails. It doesn't work. He's not a humanoid.
Oh, okay. Then
He's-
Didn't you hear his mother was a cow?
Yeah.
apparently.
Technically, he's a monstrosity, and so like you throw the magic out, and he like doesn't even have to try to resist it, right? You like just learned an important lesson, though, right? He's not a humanoid. Okay.
Okay, so then I'll just step out of the way and let him.
You still have bonus action. You could do whatever. I don't want to like steal the rest of your shit. You have bonus
No, I'm
action.
good.
move-
I just wanted to hold him and talk to him. So I'll just move
Okay.
Edgar has the right idea.
With that, he does not get to charge because he doesn't have enough distance. So he just leaps like over this space, landing in front of Shael as he like stands teetering on the edge of like the pit and just cleaves down with this great axe.
Oh my god.
22. God damn it. Why do I always roll so high against you, Shael?
So good.
I'm sorry, man.
It's okay.
15 points of damage. He crashes this massive axe down into the old, weathered form of Shael Greythorn. He says, "Say it again! Say it again, I dare you!" As he's like standing over you. Shael, it's your turn.
Hold on, I broke my HP bar. Well, your mother was a turtle. Your mother was your mother was a cow. I'll say it again. I've said it once. And then mean, if nobody's dying, like, I'm not gonna like go hard on the man. I am gonna hit him.
Do it.
All right. I'm gonna cast Thundering Smite. Right. Okay.
Oh, fuck yeah! Bonus action, Thundering Smite.
I'm gonna step here,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna slap this man.
Oh my God.
You lash out with the long sword. Nope, missed. He like slaps the sword out of the way with his battle axe, and you still have the smite up for next round. Don't forget that.
Good.
That's bonus action. You're not moving anywhere, right? Tone, are you cool? You just watching?
Did Ryeth go? Do
Oh
something?
no, my bad, Ryeth. I did not realize what happened here. Ryeth, you're up.
No, it's okay. I rolled my initiative late because I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do, if I wanted to do anything, and I still don't want to do anything. So I'm just going to move away.
Okay, cool. Tone, would you like to do anything?
I'm gonna go to the drink table.
Okay. As you
Start
get
pounding
over
them back,
there,
saying, "What
they're
the
all
hell did I
watching
get myself
across the
into?"
room, and this woman, Kyron Thesk, is just like, I really liked him, and he's going to be dead before we even walk into this goddamn ruin.
And I'll say, in a way,
Thinnea?
we're all dead, and in a way, we're all alive at once. The dichotomy existing within us, like twin dragons going at it at all times, and I'll just continue to sort of give a diatribe to her.
Yeah. She just sighs with exasperation and starts like drinking again. Thinnea, you're up on 23.
So I'm not going to do anything except not super loud, but loudly enough to get a little bit of attention. Really enjoy the fight and just really be like a silly socialite, drinking her wine, enjoying the fight.
Okay, I got it. You're like, oh, well, yeah.
Maybe I'll like splash a little bit of water at the two of them as they're doing it.
Yeah, there you go. Paul.
Okay, so now that I've seen him get hit pretty hard, I'm gonna still try to stop this, and I'm gonna shout out to Deimos and say, if you can't hold him, blind him. And I cast blindness on the blindness deafness for blindness on the Minotaur.
Okay, what am I rolling? Con save?
Yes.
Hey! Okay, you see the Minotaur all of a sudden like blinking wildly, and he stops. Like he's been like frantically like trying to overpower Shal, and here like trading blows, parrying on parry, and all of a sudden he starts like blinking, and he's like a little like staggered. He's on the edge of this thing, and you could see the definitive, like he doesn't say anything, and he doesn't like cry out or anything like that, but the swings are like coming in wild. And now Shal, like it just got a lot easier for you to start like deflecting his attacks at you.
So then
Okay,
I
that's your
just
action,
say,
bonus action.
Yeah, then I just say, I asked for your friendship. This is what friends could have done for each other. And I'll just stand there.
To be fair, he did insult his mother.
Yeah, but you know.
That is true. Okay, he takes two like wild blind attacks. They're both at disadvantage, 9 and 9. The great axe like looks like it's coming right for your head, and you're able to easily like duck down low and slap it out of the way with your shield. And then he like bends down and just starts thrashing with his head with these horns to try to like get a piece of you. And you like dance out of the way of it. No problem. Ryeth, you want to do anything?
Nah.
Shall.
I want this to work so bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hit him again. Hit him again.
Come on. Yeah! All right. 26. Bam! You land the attack. So roll damage on the longsword.
Woo! Just the
first 7.
Yeah, just the 1/7.
And now Thunder Smite.
And smite damage. And then, more smite damage.
He's super strong. Okay, so 6 points Thunder Smite plus 7.
And some of
13.
that too.
You can't Divine Smite on top of the other spell.
What? It's a free action.
It is a free action. I guess you can, yeah. I guess actually you can. I'll double check how I want to roll on that, but I'm cool with it. For now, that's fine. 15, 22 points of damage plus a strength saving throw. DC 15.
Ooh.
Failed it.
Failed. profiles. You guys hear this ringing explosion of thunder. Ryeth, where you were like maybe interested before, now you're like, holy shit, this turtle has thunder smites. And he is pushed back 10 feet, knocked fucking prone. He falls into the pit, taking an additional 2 points of fucking bludgeoning damage. God, where are we at? 11, 17, 18 points of damage. And just laying on his back in the pit, he starts to like chuckle and laugh like, well, all right. He's like, maybe we can be friends after all.
And then I just like reach into the pit and I offer him my hand to help pull him out.
Oh, he's still blind.
That's not gonna work.
He's like 10 feet down on the ground underneath you, laying on his back, still blind as fuck.
Oh, okay.
But he is like laughing, and he's saying to you, Edgar, like, maybe we'll be friends after all.
I remove the blindness.
That is where we end our night, right there.
Oh,
Good. We're
awesome.
friends with literally everyone that we're supposed to
You guys
kill.
are crazy. I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, that's interesting. You guys have a lot of allies.
Hell yeah.
Or do you?
Until they find out about it, and then we're
Right.
screwed.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't really say I was friends with the goblin.
That's true.
I really just said I wanted the potion. And then
Yeah,
I took
that's
the
true.
potion. You know what I mean? Like,
For me.
And I sat at that fountain the whole time.
We had a conversation with the orc.
Yeah, that's true. And that's it.
Yeah,
That was
you guys
awesome,
did. You
guys.
talked to a lot of people. I hope you like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's like
No, it was good. It was good to get to know them before we jump in and do things.
And
Yeah.
Kill them all.
So yeah, we'll come back next week. and
Yes,
we'll
so
talk.
yeah, that's officially we will be back next week, but then it'll go every other week after that. So join us next week on Twitch on Tuesdays, and then it'll be up on the Nerdrotic YouTube channel on Thursdays. We've got a few artists that we want to thank for use of their work.
Yeah, I just want to hit these people up. Alisher Mirzoev, Antonio De Luca, David Benzal, Dongjun Lu, Jinglin Xu, and Tianhua Xu. All of them have profiles on ArtStation, which are magnificent. And I use a lot of this kind of stuff for inspiration for my games and for my characters. And all of them were like wonderful and generous enough to let us use their work. Alisher especially was all of the landscapes. And so, yeah, I just want to thank those guys.
And I also want to thank, and I'll get her in the notes. Andrea did all of our character artwork, and Mike Zink did all of the logos, the campaign logo and the TVK logo. So thank you to you guys. All these will be in the show notes. I just wanted to give a shout out to them.
Yep, those are dope too. I love our campaign logo and stuff.
Yeah,
It's all great. All of these artists they're amazing. All their art is like great. It's been great seeing it all in the streams and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, I
like
love it.
the emotional value to good art, right? That
Yeah.
like it actually, we're like, I'm scared of that guy. Like I'm running. I don't want to fight. I know, screw that, you know. So I think all these artists have really done a good job, at least for me, like evoking emotions when I see these pictures. You know.
I can't wait to get into the games next week.
Oh, I know. These are the front doors too. I leave us with the ominous photo of the front doors in, right? I like, obviously spent a lot of time role playing, and I love describing things and that theater of the mind, and painting the picture with words is so much a part of what this game is, and it's beautiful. But one good piece of art, man, it moves mountains for me. It like inspires ideas and gets me wild with like creativity and enthusiasm for different things. So yeah, it's great. Anyway, good night, you guys. I
Awesome.
thought it was a
Good-
good start. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.